at the BBC Scotland website or the BBC Sport app. But for all the goal news right across the country here on FM, Sounds and Digital, it's Open All Mics.
Football from Sports Sound.
Brilliant drop of the shoulder! What a goal!
From BBC Radio Scotland.
There's no substitute.
Welcome to Open All Mics on BBC Radio Scotland. Leanne Crichton in the studio with me this afternoon. We kicked off with a really good game at Fir Park. Motherwell succumbing to Rangers in the end despite having that early advantage through Kevin Van Veen. A few big talking points in that game, no doubt. Lots of talking points to come this afternoon, Leanne. Some huge games.
Oh, no doubt. When I'm on VAR, there's always plenty to discuss, Kenny. I'm sure there'll be certain moments across the afternoon that we'll be tuned right into, but a cracking game this afternoon, as you mentioned, to kick us off. Many talking points, certainly something that we can digress and discuss as the afternoon goes on, no doubt. But some huge games across the Premiership this afternoon. Big games, big points at stake. Many managers probably still feeling the pressure, Derek McInnes being one of them. I think a huge afternoon at Rugby Park. Certainly will be keeping a close eye on that one and tuned into Rory's commentary and updates on it. But as I say, some cracking games across the division. Looking forward to it. Yeah, 5 games in the top flight kicking off at 3 o'clock. We've got reporters at 3 games in the Championship this afternoon. Let's then get to Hamilton Accies against Ayr United. There for us, Gavin Wallace.
Yeah, good afternoon, Kenny. And of course, you see exactly what's going on in the Championship right now. Partick Thistle so resurgent at the moment under Chris Doolan, but Ayr United still within a shout of getting back into the Premiership, Kenny, since season 77-78. They've made 4 changes to the team today that went out the weekend. That went out in the Cup. Also, Hamilton making 4 changes today as well. So Hamilton at the wrong end of the table, but they have recorded big wins recently as well against the likes of Inverness, Cally Thistle. They've done really well, to be fair, the last couple of weeks, but John Rankin's still finding themselves at the bottom of the table. Decent crowd at the moment in New Douglas Park, and fingers crossed, Kenny, we'll get some goals this afternoon.
Let's hope so. Let's then get to Firhill. Partick Thistle against Dundee. There for us, Chick Young.
Yes, Kenny, big game for Thistle, big game for Dundee, but if the Jags were to win this afternoon, they would leapfrog into second place in this very interesting promotion race from the Championship. Chris Doolan's done some shift. We're still, some of us, a little baffled about the departure of Ian McCall, but take nothing away from Chris Doolan, what he's done in succeeding Ian McCall here at Firhill. Quickly through the teams for you. David Mitchell in goal for the Jags, the Jack McMillan, Kevin Holt, Darren Brownlee, Kyle Turner, Scott Tiffany, Stuart Bannigan, who's played 350 games for the club, Brian Graham, Stevie Lawless, Lee Hodgson and Ross Docherty, the captain. Quickly through, Gary Boyers, starting 11 for Dundee, Adam Lesgins in goal, Jordan Marshall, Ryan Sweeney, Jordan McGee, Luke Hannant, Lee Ashcroft, Josh Mulligan, Zach Robson, Paul McMullen, Ben Williamson, Lyle Common. Big crowd inside, so I'm sure you can hear in the background here, sense of anticipation, and Dundee have got us underway.
Yeah, thanks to Chick Young there at Firhill. The leaders, Queen's Park, are at home to Inverness, Cally Thistle this afternoon. There for us, Kenny Crawford.
In from Ochilview, Kenny, 1 minute 29 seconds gone, and already Cally Thistle have had a couple of corners. Billy Dodd's men applying the early pressure for Queen's Park. It's all about trying to get over the line now. 8 games left, they're 5 points clear at the top. We saw Arbroath in a similar position last season, and they were finally pipped to the post by Kilmarnock. Can the Spiders do what they need to do to get promotion to the top flight? Just one change from them today. Jack Thompson is out injured, Jake Davidson comes in, and for Cally Thistle, we heard Billy Dodds after that brilliant win in the Cup against Kilmarnock going on about how he had his players back. Well, Sean Welsh, his captain, is now out injured. He misses out today, and in for him comes Dan Mackay, so another player who brings a lot of attacking threat, as does Sean Welsh, who scored that winner against Kilmarnock last weekend. But yeah, it's looking good. 2 minutes gone, and it's 0-0 between Queen's Park and Cally Thistle.
Thanks to Kenny Crawford. We have our first goal of the 3 o'clock kickoffs in Scotland this afternoon. Kelty Hearts 1, Montrose 0. Jamie Burjonis with a goal there in the first minute. Let's then get to Derek Ferguson. An early knock in that game, Derek.
Yeah, and it's that silly rule, Kenny, isn't it? When the linesman waits till the player gets to the ball then the flag goes up, because the keeper came out. There was two of them going for it. I know it was Bruce Anderson, not too sure what Livy player it is, but it's a hell of a clash. So it was, and again, we always talk about it. That puts players in danger, and that was a clear case of that rule. It's a stupid rule, something we need to get rid of right away.
Yeah,
it was Brophy.
Brophy, Just, it's worrying when you see the player go down like that. So we'll find out. At least he's up on his feet, Derek, and he's.
Yeah, it was Devlin and Brophy. But it was a keeper, it was a ball over the top. I mean, I'm right in line with Kenny, and you can see it's offside right away. Why the flag doesn't go up, and that's what we'll talk about, because then the players would stop, but they carry on because they don't see a flag. And it was I tell you what, it looks as if he's got a sore one, Nicky Devlin. He's a hardy boy as well. So he must have took an absolute whack if he's staying down.
Yeah, interesting to see what the future holds for Nicky Devlin, out of contract at the end
he's okay,
of the season. He's okay, good to go. He's a very, very good player, an important player for Livingston. Airdrie have gone 1-0 up at home to Peterhead. Gabby McGill in the second minute there. Let's then get to Jim McInally at Celtic Park. The usual fast start from the home side there, Jim.
It has been. Hibs have set up a 5-3-1-1 formation. And the only time it hasn't up to Yuan, he's lost control. They need to do better than that.
What a start, Dundee United. 3 minutes on the clock, 1-0.
Sorry, Alan, we just missed it. There was a slight problem there with the connection. Just go through that again for us, Alan.
Stephen Fletcher with a goal, Kenny. I've got the world's loudest PA system. United have clearly invested in one during the break. It's ridiculously loud. But Stephen Fletcher's given them the lead. It's a header by Taylor out to Fletcher, 18 yards out. One touch to control, second touch, left foot, bang, bottom corner, 1-0 United. 3 minutes.
So you're not the loudest open all maker?
I can't. I've not got a clue what you're saying, honestly, Kenny. This is ridiculous.
It's playing havoc with our systems there, that's for sure. We struggled to hear you first round, but we got the
gist. I didn't want to hear that, Kenny.
I'm quite happy with that, by the way.
It's a brilliant finish, Kenny, from Fletcher. First touch just to control it, just sits lovely for him. And he wraps it into the net with the left foot. As Alan said, it's a brilliant start for Dundee United, just exactly what they would be after against a St Mirren side that they're a good team,
Chance, Duke! It's a goal, it's a deflection, but it's Duke that gets another one here at Pittodrie early. The cross from Shinnie down the left-hand side. It's not cleared properly. It pops up in the air, and Duke comes in. He gets his head over it. He drills it into the ground, and it takes a deflection, ends up in the back of the net. Aberdeen 1, Hearts 0.
Yeah, there's not much the goalkeeper can do, Willie, but it's good play from Aberdeen, as you described, down that left-hand side, dangerous ball into the box. And Duke does the right thing. He just looks to get his shot off. I don't think he's got a clear sight of goal necessarily, but it's what good strikers do, look to get their shot off and target, and this time he gets the luck of the draw with the deflection. Takes it into the back of the net. Great start.
Yeah, Willie promised us goals. He promised us a good game. Willie, is the case now for Barry Robson to get this job becoming more and more compelling, do you think?
I think it makes it more and more difficult for the board of directors, the new chief executive and the director of football. But I think, it's a big club, Aberdeen. They know Barry Robson. Beg your pardon. Sorry, Derek. That would be a turn up for the boots. Oh dear. So they know him well, don't they? So they've got to make that decision. But I still think that they've got to spread the net pretty wide, have a good look at it, make the decision. But absolutely, he's a contender. There's no doubt about that. He's got the team playing well. They have went to the 3 at the back, by the way, rather than the 4 with McCrory and Hayes as a wing back. So a great start for Barry Robson.
Yeah, Kenny, just to clarify that, just get a text. Barry Ferguson's not interested in Aberdeen job.
Yeah, I think you get decent odds in that one.
I'm sure they get a warm reception.
So Duke with the opener there for the Dons in the 5th minute. Aberdeen 1, Hearts 0. Just confirm Alan telling us Stephen Fletcher with the opener for Dundee United on 3 minutes. United 1, St Mirren 0. Wolves 0, Leeds United 1, Jack Harrison on 6 minutes there. In the Championship, Wraith Rovers 1, Cove Rangers 0, Esmail Consalves with the opener there on 4 minutes. Let's then get to Rory Loy down at Rugby Park. What's happening here in the early stages, Rory?
Well, Kilmarnock are on top, that's for sure. Johnson looked really nervy at the back. Liam Gordon, uncharacteristically, has given the ball away a couple of times. Mayo had a chance with a header, and just a minute ago, a lovely pass from young 18-year-old Watson played in Christian Doidge down the side, but recovering defender, other end of the age scale, Andy Considine slid in to make sure it went out for a corner. St Johnstone have cleared their lines though, and that's about all the action so far. It's 0-0.
Was that another chance for you, Alan? We're struggling to hear you there.
No, it's not.
No, it was at Queen's Park, Kenny.
Queen's
it was
Park,
Oakville. It was
Kenny,
Stephen Eze, the big defender, headed off the post from Dom Thomas's free kick. Really close for the Spiders going in front, but the upright denied him. It's still 0-0 between Queen's Park and Cally Thistle.
In England, Aston Villa 1, Bournemouth 0. Douglas Luiz with a goal there on 7 minutes. So back to you, Jim McInally. What's happening in the early stages?
A great ball across the box there. Alistair Johnson whipped it right across. Nobody could get the end of it, but Celtic are just having to just bide their time here. Hibs are sitting in and plenty of the ball, but nothing really of, no great chances yet as such.
Jim, what are your thoughts on this? I was just reading that Lee Johnson has been using a sports psychologist since the loss 6-1 at Celtic Park. I mean, we've seen definite improvement in performance. Is it something you tried yourself as a manager? Is it something you're a fan of?
Jim McLean imposed it on us.
Exactly.
I think Biscuits might remember this, a guy called Jack Black.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, he chased him before we beat Barcelona because we nearly got knocked out the Scottish Cup on the Saturday before.
I'm surprised he actually tried that, though.
He would try anything, Jim McLean, to be honest, to get a result.
Yeah.
Anything, but it didn't last long, and he wasn't long getting shot at him. I can remember him showing him the door, actually.
Willie, are you a fan of sports psychologists?
I used Jack Black when I was manager at Aberdeen as well, by the way.
Oh.
And you know the thing about it, Kenny, I said when he went in, I said, what you said was, look, we'll do 6 sessions. After 3, you can decide yourself if you want to stay or not. And I says to him, I can tell you the players that will stay, and I can tell you the players that will go. All the top players stayed, and all the other players left after 3 sessions. Listen, you try anything as a manager to get a performance, don't you? Does it work? I think it's internal. It's what you are made of, and I think in a team sport it's much more difficult than in an individual sport to use any kind of a tricks that a sports scientist might have.
Forfar 1, Annan 0, Matthew Aitken on 8 minutes, Alloa 1, Clyde 0, Ross McIver on 9. League 2 leaders Dumbarton are behind 1 goal behind at home to Albion Rovers. Joe Bevan with a goal there for Rovers on 7 minutes. So what's happening?
Tell you what, Kenny, sorry to come in. David Watson has started unbelievably well here at Rugby Park. He's driven forward about a couple of minutes ago, and took 2 St Johnstone defenders to drag him to the ground from the free kick. Danny Armstrong whipped one, but Remy Matthews was just equal to it. Just then again, he picked the ball up, he sprayed it to the other side of the pitch. David Watson, 18-year-old, first start, started fantastically well for Kilmarnock. Kilmarnock on top, but it stays 0-0.
It's interesting,
really
Alan,
good chance at Oakville View, Kenny.
On you go, Kenny.
It was Danny Mackay was played through by Nathan Shaw. He was almost one-on-one with Callum Ferry. Tried to go for the near post low, but Callum Ferry, he's a great goalkeeper, a great season for Queen's Park so far. Denied him, put it out for a corner. Cally Thistle 0-0 against Queen's Park.
A couple of youngsters getting their chance this afternoon, Alan. You've got some figures there. There's something come out during the week with a lack of youngsters getting their chance in Scottish football.
Yeah, I was just saying that, Scottish youngsters under 21 playing, there's not that many.
Have a look for a handball at Rugby Park, Leanne. Sorry, Alan.
Okay. On you go.
No, the ball bounced around. It was difficult for me to see. They're claiming for a handball, Alan, so I just wanted to learn, have a wee look, see if there's anything in it, because they're all going over to the referee at the moment. He's got the finger to the ear.
Now, Kenny, it's great that the young lads playing for Kilmarnock, it really is, but is it because managers are under pressure that they're not going to blood young kids, or are the kids simply not good enough? And I think the problem we have is, as well as they go from a youth team to having to play in the first team, and I think that's where in a lot of people don't like it. I think the B teams being in the Lowland League will help them. There's 16, 17-year-old boys in these teams playing against men, and that's what they need to do. They need to get up against men at an early age if they can. And then managers will be able to see if they're good enough to get into the first team, because it's so difficult to go from a youth team straight into a first team. So there is a real lack of Scottish under 21 youngsters playing in the top league.
Just for clarity,
but it's only selecting elite teams.
Just to come in a second, that handball, it had come off the hand of Liam Gordon, but his hands were by his side, Rory.
On you go, Chick.
Yeah, I'm just saying it to Alan, picking up his point about the B teams playing, but it's only select B teams and bigger clubs that are getting that experience. I mean, I basically agree with Alan's theory about, a lot of us just want reserve football, but again, when you learn your trade against playing against older guys, a point with older guys in any trade, and that's how you get an apprenticeship. So you learn from older guys, and I don't think the way the system is at the moment, they're getting a chance to play with older guys.
Yeah, absolutely agree with that, and Alan's spot on. The gap between where they're playing at the moment and the first team is far too big. And funnily enough, I'm back at Kilmarnock. I was an apprentice here. You know, you would play against, you know, you'd get a few hundred, when the Old Firm came to town, you got a couple of thousand, because if the first team players who didn't play at the weekend, they played during the week with a mix of the best under-19s, and that made up the reserve team. If you then outshone the rest in the reserves, you got your opportunity in the first team. And when you get that step and you make that step up, it's not too big a gap to bridge, because you're playing against fringe first team players. At the moment, they're being expected to play against other kids their age and then make a step up to the man's game, as Alan quite rightly points out.
Is it not a numbers problem, though, how many players you actually need to put the two teams together? I mean, you're talking about Aberdeen. You can't have the players that are not playing in the squad just now. You're talking about squads of 20.
Sorry, we've got a penalty at New Douglas Park. Ben Dempsey's going to step up to take it in just a second. There was a lot of traffic in the box, but I think it might well have been Dan O'Reilly that handled it inside the box. United just about to step up with Ben Dempsey and take this penalty, give themselves the lead. If they do, then that's good for Ayr United, and obviously Hamilton have still got plenty of time to come back. Penalty stepping up now. Dempsey with the outside of the foot goes left, and it's a goal to Ayr United, Kenny. 1-0.
Yeah, what a start. It's so tight at the bottom of that table with Hamilton Accies, Arbroath and Cove Rangers. So Accies behind in that game.
Big blow for Celtic here, Kenny.
Yeah.
Ray Hotati's been replaced by David Turnbull. It looks like he's pulled a muscle of some sort.
He's such a key player for them, Jim, isn't he? He's a fantastic player.
For me, he's the main man for Celtic, and this will be interesting to see how they cope. Now, David Turnbull, mind you, he's a really good replacement, and it gives him a chance to stake a place in the team. So that big loss to Celtic.
Airdrie has got the second goal against Peterhead. Craig Watson in 10 minutes, and they've just added a third, Callum Gallagher, on 13 minutes there. Dumbarton, the leaders, now 2-0 down at home to Albion Rovers. Joe Bevan on 12 minutes, and just confirmation that Ben Dempsey penalty on 12 minutes as Ayr United ahead away at Hamilton Accies. Jim, what are your thoughts on
chance
the
for Hibs here?
Yep.
Chance for Hibs. Oh, just over the top there. Cross played for the left-hand side out to the right wing, headed back, and I'm not quite sure who it was. I think it was Egan Riley, or was it?
It was, yeah, it was
just
Egan Riley. Lovely bit of play from Hibs. Yeah, it comes from that press, real physical aggression to go and win the ball back. And as you say, the diag was lovely, and just the knock down to the edge of the box. Probably Egan Riley should do better, Jim, and get it on target, at least work the goalkeeper.
Jim, your thoughts on B teams and the lack of youngsters getting their opportunity?
Totally agree with Alan. They need to play against men. The problem is, and I've said this for years, there is too many kids at football clubs, and they need to be in touch with first teams a lot sooner than they're getting. I don't know how you can change it, because obviously the saturation has never changed. And for me, you need to have an elite bunch of players that are getting close to playing with their first teams, getting in amongst them from an early age, training with them, playing with them, and for me, that's the only way it improves, because at the minute there's a real dearth of talent.
Kenny, it's also that they've got to learn to take criticism for the older boys as well, because once you step up, start mixing it with the first team players, you know, if you're not up to that standard, they're quick to be on you, and they're on you right away. So that's something you've got to handle. It's not just about being a terrific player with good ability. You've got to handle the other side of it as well.
Got the right character. I'll just run through the scores for you. Aberdeen 1, Hearts 0, Duke on 5 minutes. Celtic 0, Hibs 0. Hatate's had to go off for the home side there. Dundee United 1, St Mirren 0. Stephen Fletcher on 3 minutes. Kilmarnock 0, St Johnstone 0, Livingston 0, Ross County 0. In the lunchtime kick-off, Motherwell 2, Rangers 4. Into the Championship then, Hamilton Accies 0, Ayr United 1. Ben Dempsey from the penalty spot on 12 minutes. Partick Thistle 0, Dundee 0. Queen's Park 0, Inverness Cally Thistle 0. Raith Rovers 1, Cove Rangers 0. In League One, Airdrie 3, Peterhead 0, Alloa 1, Clyde 0, Dunfermline 0, SC Edinburgh 0, Kelty Hearts 1, Montrose 0. That goal coming in the first minute. Queen of the South 0, Falkirk 0. And in League 2,
nearly a goal for Celtic there, Kenny. Corner kick for the left-hand side. O'Reilly, and I think it was Cameron Carter-Vickers headed it, just hit the bar and went over.
Yeah, I think it was actually Starfelt, Jim, that manages to get on the end of it, but really good head up, good delivery, out swing up. Poor defensively from a Hibs perspective, right enough. Starfelt gets far too much space to go and attack the header. Again, should do better, probably has to keep it on target and again work the goalkeeper.
Yeah, it was a good connection, crashing off the bar there. In League 2, Bolingbroke Rose 0, East 5 0, Dumbarton 0, Albion Rovers 2, Elgin City against Stenhousemuir. That was postponed due to a waterlogged pitch. Forfar 1, Annan 0, Stranraer 0, Stirling Albion 0, and in England this afternoon, Aston Villa 1, Bournemouth 0, Brentford 0, Leicester 0, Southampton 0, Spurs 0, Wolves 0, Leeds 1. 5:30 kick-off. Chelsea against Everton. What's the latest up there at Pittodrie, Willie Miller?
It's a very good game of football. Not too many opportunities in front of goal, but you know, plenty of aggression. You know, watching the two old warriors in midfield, Shinnie and Snodgrass, going at it, you know, with a you know, quite a bit of physicality is well, it warms my heart, I must say. Maybe not the purest, but it certainly does for me. It's been a good game of football. You know, both sides at it, both teams want to get forward the park. Well matched, but of course Aberdeen have had that goal from Duke, and Duke has been a real threat throughout. His strength. Oh, it's a chance here for Pollock on the turn. He's going to set someone up. He's going to have to strike himself. It's blocked, but that's the centre back up, you know, for the corner, having a little opportunity there. Good game of football. Looking forward to the rest of this game. The conditions are absolutely perfect as well, and a big crowd in here to enjoy it, Kenny.
Oh, what a save that is from Remy Matthews. A magnificent ball in from Jordan Jones. It's Danny Armstrong arriving at the back post from point blank range. He makes a reaction save, and Remy Matthews tips it over the bar. Kilmarnock knocking on the door here. St Johnstone have shown absolutely nothing so far. It's a corner to Kilmarnock, but it stays 0-0.
Right, let's then get to Tannadice. What a start for Dundee United there. Alan Preston, what do you see that's different?
It's a goal! Goal for Kilmarnock! And it's Kyle Vassell! The corner comes in, St Johnstone don't deal with it. I think it comes down off the crossbar. Matthews might have got a touch, and then Vassell turns it home, and Kilmarnock thoroughly deserved that. Derek McInnes is cheering with the fans, and rightly so. It's Kilmarnock 1, St Johnstone 0.
Just waiting for a rerun of that one to come through, Rory, but it's a huge goal for Kilmarnock. Certainly it will give them a bit of confidence. We know how important that home advantage can be. Yeah, it hits at the bar actually just in the way in, I think. Just get a better look at it now. Yeah, Vassell, he crashes it off the bar and it ends up in the back of the goal. He does really well because he's back to play actually. Just swivels on it in the half turn.
Instinctive finish.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah, another injury for Celtic here, Kenny. Alistair Johnson's copped one from Yuan. I don't know what it looks like, Leanne, but it looked a wee bit naughty from here. He's been yellow carded.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye
on it. And who is it that scored it again? Just listen to this. It's that man again, Duke with a header. Great crossing from Pollock it was. Good build up down the right hand side. Little dink cross into the box. Duke finds the pocket of space and just lets it slide off his forehead into the far corner to give Aberdeen that second goal. 2-0 to the Don.
Brilliant header, Willie. Really good attacking play. Good wide play as well, though, in relation to the delivery. Brilliant cross into such a dangerous area.
Chris Graham's going to cross to Leanne VAR here.
Yeah.
I mean, the Johnston players.
Another goal for Celtic. Fantastic play down the right of the Jota. Whips a great ball in. Kyogo chase it. The goalkeeper point blank save, and he really should have scored. It's a really bad miss.
The St Johnstone players went back, set up as they normally would for a kick-off. Two players standing over the ball. I didn't see any complaints. I have no idea what he's looking at.
They're looking at whether it's come off the hand of Vassell, but his arm's by his side. For me, Rory, it hits almost the t-shirt line just in the side of the arm. I don't know where he's supposed to put his arm, but I don't know the laws of the game.
It's looking ominous because he's went to the screen. He's come back onto the pitch.
The thing is, as I say, he's side on.
Free kick. Goal chopped off. It's Kilmarnock 0, St Johnstone 0.
Because his arm's literally tucked in by his body in the first viewing of that, Rory, I didn't see that. And I even think as a player, I don't know where you're supposed to put your arm to get it out of the way as the ball comes towards you. He didn't use it to control it in terms of motioning towards the ball. That's a sucker punch for Kelly.
I mean, the reaction of the players, I suppose, I mean, it shouldn't make any difference if they have spotted that, but I mean, I don't think there was one claim from a St Johnstone player.
The reality is, if it's up there, if it's a penalty claim up the other end, it wouldn't be given. But the fact that it leads to a goal, it's disallowed.
Yeah, directly to a goal.
Bizarre.
Yeah. Question for Alan P, if I may. Do you think Duke would get a game in that Hearts team, Alan?
Obsessed, the both of you.
Come on, Alan. He'll claim he can't hear you, will he?
He's not normally that quiet.
let me put a dampener on it for you.
Terrible.
Here's a dampener. There's got to be a concern now you're going to lose Duke in the summer, no?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, which would be great. Which would be great, you know, in terms of the fee that they would have to pay, because it would be massive on the form that he's showing. Listen, I hope he's here for quite some time. He's been exciting all season, particularly at home. I think he's good for Scottish football as well. He certainly lights it up. He lights Pittodrie up whenever he's on the run, and the quality of goals that he's been scoring, Kenny, is just top drawer. So yeah, you might lose him, but what a find.
Yeah, enjoy him while you've got him, no doubt. A double from him today, 5 in 21 minutes as it Dons in control against Hearts. Let's then check that mic now, Alan Preston. no.
He's at it.
I think it might be a Hearts goal for that mic to be working again. We'll find out. They will want to start for the Dons there. Derek Ferguson, what's happening at Livingston?
Nothing between the sides, Kenny, in terms of possession-wise. A couple of half chances from both, you know, Anderson and Boyce had a couple of half chances. They've got a wee free kick at the moment just to put into the box, and it's come of nothing. Well, might come to something there. Pittman, it just thing with Brophy's a couple of half chances again, shots from outside the box, but you know, it's two sides that look very evenly matched. I don't think the parks help, because no rain here. Pitch looks a wee bit sticky. Oh, there's a hell of a challenge here, by the way, but wee Willie just says it's a bye kick, so that's unusual from him. But no, nothing between the sides. Couple of half chances from each of the sides, but just wait for it to kind of spark into life.
Celtic piling on the pressure at Celtic Park. Jim McAnally.
No, after knocking on the door now, it's you would feel as though it's only a matter of time. Jota's having a field day down here on the right hand side. His use of the ball fantastic, and there's a red card now for Yuan. Red card. Second yellow card.
So that was Carter Vickers.
That was a coming together, Jim, wasn't it? Is it been given for a high boot, do you reckon?
It looks like it's bizarre because Stephen McLean was wanting to play on. Celtic still had the ball, and then he waved play on, and then he come back, and obviously it looks a bit harsh, to be honest.
Right, we're seeing it now, Jim. Here we go.
I would actually argue that the foul initially was on Johan, and then Carter Vickers dives to header the ball. Johan almost reaches to play the ball, so I think it's deemed a high boot. It's a strange one. I think I'm looking at Lee Johnson on the screen just now, remonstrating to the fourth official as to what he's seen.
I mean, that's a refereeing decision, that's not a VAR decision, is it? I mean,
the reality is as well, Jim, if it was a second yellow, it's the same as we've seen at Fir Park today. Callum Slattery, they don't review these decisions. As a player, you don't have a leg to stand on. You know, it's a harsh decision when it leads to a red card. Ultimately, you want to get the right decisions, but it is really harsh.
So heads down to 10.
Bad tackle here at Firhill. Ben Williamson with a yellow card. Yeah, Ben Williamson a yellow card for him. A bad challenge actually on Ross Docherty. It's a game which has been, some of the football in the Villa Park's great, but we've not one goal mouth opportunity yet, and there's players getting it's getting a bit physical. There's a lot at stake at this game, and I must say Dundee and Pardivis are getting really in about one another, and the referee, who's Alan Newlands, is having to make a few decisions here.
Kenny Crawford.
Yes, Dan Mackay for the Highlanders. Really good strike. The ball fell to him just outside the box, and he steered it right foot, side foot, curled it inside the right foot of the post, past Callum Ferry, and he celebrates with a small number of away fans. Brilliant goal for Cali Thistle. It puts them 1-0 up. They're trying to push towards the promotion playoff places. That's a good start here in Stenhousemuir. Queen's Park 0, Cali Thistle 1.
What a fantastic few weeks for Billy Dodge. Chick Young, before Kenny came in with that goal, I was just about to ask you see a lot of the championships, so give us your honest answer before that goal, and I was going to ask you who you're tipping for the title.
I've been all over the place as the season's going on. To be honest with you, I think Queen's Park look all a bit nervous now. I saw them play against Morton. They were destroyed Morton in the first half. But then they looked nervous, and Morton had a lot about them. I think Morton are probably out of it now.
Pollock's
it's getting interesting, but I tell you, the appetite of Patrick Thistle at the moment. And this is a huge game, Kenny.
They might check it, I'm not sure. Possibly offside. But it's a great header from Pollock. Cross from the free kick. Hearts defence static. He gets in behind him, he's diving header, and he drills into the back of the net with a forehead. Aberdeen 3, Hearts 0.
See, there is a God, Kenny. You never sent me to Aberdeen to sit beside him.
You're back with us. I mean, my goodness, this is some performance from the Dons, Alan, isn't it?
Aberdeen are good. I mean, they're great at home. They really are. Plenty time. We've got to let them keep it a wee bit of interest in the league somewhere along the line.
I'll sit in that voice.
Oh, digging a bigger hole for yourself, Alan. Just stay quiet.
Do you think your team have been playing well, Alan, in recent weeks?
No, not at all.
No.
I don't think they've been playing well at all. They've been grinding out results, which is a sign of a good side. When you're not playing well, we're still winning, but they've not been playing particularly well. In the game against Celtic last week, they were never really in it for me. They had the chance with Civic, and that was about it in the whole game. Celtic comfortably won.
Goal for Ayr United. Sam Ashford this time. Ayr United have been knocking on the door again, Kenny. A great run from Diko Appinyemi. He plays in Ashford. He just slipped it round the corner, and Ashford opens his right foot and puts it into the far right-hand corner, well beyond Ryan Fulton. Lee Bullen's men up 2-0.
He's misjudged it. Oh, it's just crept past the post. Sam Walker launches the ball up the pitch. I've got to give him credit. He picks Danny Armstrong out. And I think it's Considine who completely misjudges it. And Armstrong nicks in, gets it by the goalkeeper, and it just creeps past the post. I think it might possibly Alexander Mitchell, actually. Alex Mitchell he gets in front of. And oh my goodness, Derek McInnes will be wondering how on earth his side aren't ahead.
They did check that goal. It stands. It's 3-0 the Dons.
I was just going to say, Willie, were you panicking there when you seen that VAR check was continuing slightly longer than perhaps would have liked?
No, I was worried. I was worried for Alan, and you know what? I was quite willing to just keep it at 2.
I'm all right, Willie, don't worry about me. You've still got that thing that's called the away record. 2-0 sorted out.
2-0, Willie's the worst scoreline in football, because you know that next goal's vital, don't you? So you're better sitting with 3 comfortably just now.
I know. Leanne, see when I played, it was 1-0 and the game over.
You reffed it.
Alan, what's happening there at Tannadice? What do you see different from United under Jim Goodwin?
I think their shape's really good. Fletcher's been excellent. I think he's been the best player on the park. You know, anything that's played up to him, he's out muscling Gogic and Taylor and Fraser there. Fraser's already been booked, so he's got to be very, very careful. I just think that the work rate of United is really good today. They've been the better side. St Mirren have one effort at goal, really, when Aina slipped and then hit a shot straight at the keeper. But, you know, Beatrice had an effort, 25-yarder. Smith's had a shot just wide as well. The goal. United have been by far and away the better side. St Mirren need to get into the game. But again, it's like that. They get most of their points at home, Kenny. They're not great on the road, St Mirren.
Raith Rovers are now 2-0 up at home to Cove Rangers. Lewis Vaughan with the second there on 27 minutes.
Chance here for County.
Yeah.
There, just a corner kick from the right-hand side. County's right-hand side. Just whipped in. I think it's White gets a touch on it. I think it was Lacaviti. Just coming in at the back post area. I think it come off the back stanchion. Looked as if it was going to nestle into the net. That looks probably the most likely hood of getting a goal here today, Kenny. Certainly in this first half an hour. Been playing from open play. It's not been great, but maybe set piece, and they were so unlucky there, County, not to take the lead.
Rory Loy is at Rugby Park for us this afternoon. It just seems as if the away side just aren't at it, Rory.
Yeah, it does. I mean, they've started with Theo Bair today, which surprised me. I thought he probably would have went with Rudden. He obviously wants some physicality up there, but he's been non-existent in the match.
Penalty call for Celtic there. Do you ever look at that, Leanne?
Yeah, well,
big clearance from Kyogo.
Is it a handball claim?
Yeah.
Handball.
Yeah. Looked initially, to be fair, that the arms were by his side. We'll hopefully get a replay in terms of a better angle. We'll come back to you, Jim.
They're certainly waiting on it.
Yeah, it was Theo Bair's been just hasn't been in the game. Neither is Stevie May. Kilmarnock have played really, really well, I must say. As I've said before, David Watson very impressive. But Jordan Jones has also been involved in the game. Danny Armstrong, Vassell's held the ball up well. Dodge has got in and around him. But I watched Kilmarnock do this for large spells against Motherwell. They were punished in the last minute of the game. So Derek McInnes will be praying that they can get a goal in front sooner rather than later.
No penalty, Jim. Had a quick look at it again. It was well fished. He certainly looked to pull his arms in by his side as Kyogo get the shot off.
I mean, what can you do as a manager, Jim, against this all-conquering Celtic side? You're down to 10 men there. It's a long afternoon now, isn't it?
You just stand there hoping and praying. I mean, they're actually playing a 5-4 now, and I mean, it's just hoping that, I mean, even
Ramadani, you're not going to believe it. It's offside.
He's playing with us now, Willie Miller. Listen, Willie predicted a great game, an open game. Goals there this afternoon. My goodness, Aberdeen, Leanne, they look very, very good, don't they?
Oh, they're on fire.
They look excellent, yeah. They look really hungry, direct, ruthless. For the majority of this game, Willie, it looks as if the game's been played in the Hearts' defensive half.
It is. They've barely been up after the first 5 minutes in the Aberdeen half. It's all been about Aberdeen and the performance. It's by far their best performance. They've had some good performances at Pittodrie as well, but this is against the quality opposition. This is by far the best so far anyway.
And they keep hearing it, Kenny. Every time there's bad results for Hearts, the fans will be on Robbie's back again.
I was just going to say that to you, Alan, because he doesn't get the easiest of times, even when things are going his way. What would a result like this do for him?
Well, there's always been that group or element of Hearts fans that will just never accept Robbie being the Hearts manager. You know, and
they have gone though from being in a pretty comfortable position in third to when it comes to split, it will be all to play for.
Oh, of course, and that's why the split was brought in. That's what you want. It's great that, you know, but Aberdeen will need to go to Tynecastle. I think Hibs, if they get up there, would need to go to Tynecastle as well. So it's all to play for.
Brentford have gone 1-0 up at home to struggling Leicester City. Matthias Jensen with a goal there on 32 minutes. Let's get back into the Championship. Chip Young, what's happening at Firhill? You there, Chick?
Sorry, we technical problem here, Kenny. Just Bardic Thistle on the attack here, creating a few opportunities. There's a pot. Claims are brought down just outside the box. Dundee a little bit rattled, and there's another yellow card this time for Jordan McGee. It's the pitches has been cutting up pretty badly. I've been enviously listening to Willie tell me it's sunny and glorious in Aberdeen. It was murder down here. There's a downpour just at kick-off. Grey skies over Maryhill. It's cooled up a little bit now, and Partick Thistle having the better of this game, but the pitch is taking up, cutting up a little bit, Kenny. Free kick outside the box for Thistle. I'll keep you informed of what becomes of it.
Yeah, we've been talking a lot about the battle at the top and also to get into the playoffs, but the three at the bottom are so tight. It's incredible. Cove Rangers 26 points, Arbroath 25, Hamilton Accies 25 points. So tight down there. Arbroath, that 1-1 draw last night at home to Morton. Cove struggling today. They are behind away at Cove Rangers, 2 goals down this afternoon. Hamilton Accies also 2 down at home to Ayr United. Anything at all in the way of a comeback from the Accies, Gavin Wallace?
In one word, no. I've got absolute, honestly.
Oh, goal! Barry Gouts a goal for Livingston. Ball right to the back post. Who else? It's Newbley. Gets well above that county defence. A brilliant header, just heads it back when it comes from. It's a bit like a slow motion, but the keeper was never getting there. But it's into the back of the net. Livingston go 1 up.
Yeah, excellent goal. Derek Newbley does really well. It's almost as if he's just hanging in the air, but it's a mismatch defensively when you try and pick him up aerially. Albeit he is that kind of, he has that physical presence. It's not necessarily the way Livingston play to use him at times, is with that aerial threat, but it's a great delivery. I'm not sure who it is that whips that in with the left foot.
Yeah, they don't use him enough.
No, they don't.
This game is with me kind of a bit stop and start. It's been a wee bit frustrating. And you know, you talk about his physical attributes. You know, he's good on the deck, and they don't give him the ball enough, you know, into feet and that. But that was a ball at the back post, as you say, Leanne. You know, there was only one winner.
Great chance for
I think it's just a booking. Hold on, guys. There's a bit of a to-do here at Pittodrie. I think it was Shanklin. Was it Shanklin on Shinnie or Shanklin on Duke? Not 100% sure, but he definitely pulled him to the ground, arms round his neck.
Yellow
card.
Shankland.
There was a wee chance for Hibs there. Long throw in for Lewis Miller. It was just played to the cleared to the edge of the box, lobbed back over. Might have been offside, but Celtic Carter Vickers get back in and sweeped it up. But Hibs at least venturing up the park a wee bit.
Yeah, it would have been offside, Jim.
Right, I thought it might have
just
been.
a couple of yards.
You're talking about the bottom of the championship being tight. If this result stays here and the one at Livy and Kilmarnock get a draw, we're right back in the mix. It's really tight at the bottom of the Premiership as well.
Yeah, again, it's hard to call, but despite the result earlier on today, you would think Motherwell potentially safe now, but that's we're just actually there seems to be a VAR check.
Chance a goal! It's the captain. He took a whack early doors, but that ball just laid back to him. I think he's just inside the box.
Lovely.
At the angle, right hand side. I tell you what, it might take a little deflection, but he hits it ever so sweetly into the back of the net. And for a game that was going, looked as if nowhere, they're 2-0 up.
VAR check, it looks like a penalty for Hibs possibly here.
Yeah, it's for a shirt pull on Hanlon. Starfelt's got a grip of his shirt just from that initial throw-in.
I'm not surprised, Leanne. Gavin Duncan's on VAR.
Yeah,
and
it's
my memories of him for Peterhead weren't good when it came to corner kick. I actually thought it before the game. Any pull, because he gave about 3 penalties against us for.
This is your opportunity. You can speak today, Jim. Feel free.
I'm quite happy to see it.
Right, so he's going to have a look now, Leanne.
It's silly from Starfelt, Kenny. We'll get another look at it here. I think they're going to show you. As the ball's coming in, there's 3 Celtic players around Hanlon, outnumbered 3-1. He's got a grip of his shirt with the left arm.
Are you giving that? And with the current.
I know, but I don't know why Starfelt does that.
No.
Because when you've got VAR and things are going to be looked at, it's the same one with the Alfredo Morelos one a number of weeks back. Why would you do it? You're not affecting the play.
Oh, what a touch! It's a goal for Kilmarnock. Kilmarnock has scored a wonderful delivery from Jordan Jones, I must say. And then at the back stick was Joe Wright to tap home. It's 1-0 to Kilmarnock. I'll hand over to you, Jim.
Penalty Hibs.
What a few minutes it's been. Nicky Devlin on that second goal for Livingston. What a season the captain is having there. But you think he will be in his way come the end of the season. No doubt lots of suitors for his signature. So you can hear the reaction, I think, at Celtic Park there, Jim.
Yeah, Josh Campbell's away to take a penalty. There could be a lot of penalties in this game, I'll tell you that.
To be fair, Hanlon is the one, Jim, that's going to compete for the header, for the flick on off the throw-in. And Starfelt just gives him a pull, so he does impede his run. It's silly because I say he was outnumbered 3-1, Hanlon.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah,
Josh Campbell standing over the ball.
He's had a decent season, you'd have to say.
Joe Hart's not got a great penalty record, I don't think, this season either. So, interesting one.
Yep.
Takes his step back. Here he goes, Josh Campbell. Up he goes. Goal, Hibs. Sent him the wrong way.
Yeah, potentially a big moment there at Celtic Park. Ewan sent off for the away side. That was in 24 minutes, but with a long VAR check there, Liam. We've just seen the big celebrations. Campbell scoring from the penalty spot.
Yeah, good penalty. Really cool, calm and composed. Dispatches it really well. And it is a big moment, but you would need to say, regardless, take away whether it's a penalty or not with the shirt pull. There's no need for a defender to do that inside the box. But it's real character from Hibs to really be pushing and getting themselves into the final third against Celtic to go and try and cause problems. They do have that disadvantage with Ewan being sent off. But approaching half-time, it's a great time to go and get a goal, get your noses in front, then get in at half-time and try and look to the drawing board and the tactics board, certainly from a manager's perspective. How do you go and try and contain this Celtic side for another 45 minutes? But it's just a nonsense from Starfelt to give the referee an opportunity to make that decision.
Yeah, saying earlier on, a potential big shock in League Two. The leaders Dumbarton now 3-0 down at home to Albion Rovers. Charlie Riley with a third there on the 32nd minute. Just gone through. Forfar have now been pegged back. Forfar 1, Annan 1. Tommy Goss with equaliser there on 39 minutes. Confirmation coming through. Joe Wright with a goal for Kilmarnock on 38 minutes. Falkirk are behind away at Queen of the South. Cole Donaldson, an own goal there. Queens 1, Falkirk 0. Stirling Albion right in that promotion, right in that title race in the second division. They are 1-0 up away at Stranraer. Jack Leach on 41 minutes. It's now Albion Rovers 4-0 up away at Dumbarton. Callum Wilson on 39 minutes. It's been a crazy few minutes, Leanne, on Sports, on some big goals going in.
Yeah, we knew it could be busy. It always happens. It just takes for one thing to happen, and it's a snowball effect across the screens in front of us. But that's what we enjoy. We enjoy the goals, the moments, the controversy.
Leanne, sorry to interrupt. Callum Davidson's actually made a change, and certainly wasn't forced through injury or anything. James Brown's been taken off, and Conor McLennan's come on, so we'll wait and see if there's been a change of shape there. But St Johnstone have been woeful, and Callum Davidson knows it, and he's made the first substitution of the match on 40 minutes.
There's a huge cheer there somewhere.
It was Celtic fans claiming for a penalty, but I think it was a wee bit in desperation, to be honest.
Yeah,
a corner kick.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be anything certain, Jim, at the moment. Just watching the game coming in here.
I think it's just everybody's in that feeling a wee bit hard done by at the minute and claiming for everything.
How are Celtic looking today, Jim? I'm catching bits of it across the screen in the far right hand side here in the studio, but are they looking like the Celtic side that we've seen as the changes in midfield perhaps unsettled it because they don't have Moy in the side? Hatate, we know, has gone off injured. Has that affected the balance of the side?
It possibly has done, but I mean they should have still scored a couple of goals. Kyogo's missed, I mean, for me, a real snip, the one that he should maybe have held it, he went with his chest, but they've got total control. I mean, you would think that, you know, there's still loads of time for them to get back in the game, and it possibly makes it a better game, but they're certainly not the Celtic that played last week, that's for sure.
Let's go down then to Rugby Park. Kilmarnock deserving of their advantage there, Rory.
Oh, without a shadow of a doubt, Kenny. They've been excellent, really good. Jones and Armstrong in particular, as well as Watson, have been so troublesome for St Johnstone, and Vassell has played well as well. He's held the ball up, he's won foul after foul as Kilmarnock deliver another one into the box, another wonderful delivery. The standard of delivery from the wide areas from Armstrong and Jones, whether it be from dead balls or general play, has been nothing short of fantastic. Kilmarnock thoroughly deserved to be 1-0 up. St Johnstone still showing absolutely nothing. McLennan's come on, it looks like he's just going to fill in for James Brown at left wing back. I assumed there would be a change in shape because Kilmarnock are dominating the match. But Derek McInnes's only frustration would be that they're only 1-0 up, because like I said, they did surrender that 1-0 lead to Motherwell a few weeks ago, and he'll be keen as mustard to make sure they see this one out.
Yeah, no doubt that home form is going to play a big part. So good at home. They've actually been quite good away from home in the Cups this season, but they can't replicate that in terms of their league form. What's happening at Tannadice, Alan Preston?
St Mirren had a corner there, Kenny, but United have been the better side. St Mirren have not really quite get going so far. The corner whipped in on top of Berigiti and managed to punch it out, and then it was cleared away. The offside flag's just gone up. I'm sure Stephen Robinson will be disappointed in the manner of his side's performance in this opening period, but Jim Goulden must be absolutely buzzing with his. And that result down at Livingston, it just closes the gap with Ross County. Kilmarnock are ahead. So United, if they can pick up 3 points to go on the same points as Ross County, and all to play for at the bottom of the table as well as the top 6, Willie.
He's hurting this afternoon. Let's get into the championship. The leader's still behind Kenny Crawford.
Yeah, we're at the 45-minute mark here at Ochilview. Queen's Park 0, Inverness Cali Thistle 1, but a few minutes added on because Malachi Boateng was injured and he's subsequently gone off for Louis Longridge. But yeah, really good goal by Dan Mackay in the 27th minute. It would have been the easiest thing in the world for him just to blast it when it fell to him about 20 yards out, but he placed it, he measured it, side-footed it, and it was a really exquisite finish, his 3rd goal of the season. So they lead 1-0 against Queen's Park at Ochilview at the moment.
Let's then get to Amon Vale. Livingston in cruise control there, Derek Ferguson.
Yeah, it wasn't like that for the first certainly half hour. It's like that old kind of case of try and win the battle, then show your quality, and have showed the quality nobly with that goal 37 minutes, and then a minute later Devlin, wonderful strike. So yeah, they're in command of this game now, and that's the difference, Kenny. You know, top end of the park, it's putting the ball in the back of net. Livy have certainly done that.
Yeah, just watching the pictures come in from Celtic Park. Jim McInally, a potential shock in the cards there, but the truth is there's a long way to go, and Celtic will create countless opportunities for the remainder of this game.
Yeah, there's a long way to go to half time. There's 8 minutes just been added.
Wow.
8 minutes World Cup time.
It's going back at World Cup.
Yeah, I mean, we had the VAR check. Well, we had two. We had the Johan sending off. No, Johan sending off. That took a while, but that was made. There was a VAR check for the penalty.
2 lengthy injuries, I know, Kenny.
Yeah, that's right. Hatate, of course, that was a major blow for Celtic and their fans. Hatate going off injured early in that first half there. Hibs have the advantage. Josh Campbell with the penalty there for their away side. That after El Johan been sent off on 24 minutes. Have you seen anything at all from Hearts as an attacking force, Willie?
Yeah, they've came back into the game. You know, I'm not too sure if it's by, you know, their good play or Aberdeen, you know, just sitting back a little bit. But they certainly have had the ball in the Aberdeen half much more in the last 10 minutes. But they really had to do something, didn't they? I mean, you know, 3-0 down, going on to half-time. Robbie Nielsen did make one change. Kingsley coming on and coughing going off. I don't think it was by any means an injury. I think it was just because he knew that Cochrane was getting a very hard time of it. And Johnny Hayes took an nasty one to the face, and he had to go off, and Hayden Coulson has come on in his place. But as we tick along, we've got 6 minutes added on. That injury to Johnny Hayes was lengthy. So we're still playing here, but it is quite a scoreline for the Dons. Dons 3, Hearts 0.
It's a different championship's a different time zone. Our teams have already got up the tunnel for the half-time. Do you still get an orange? But anyway, half-time.
Half-time at New Douglas Park as well. There, United are 2-0 up, and we'll be looking forward to oranges, I think, after that performance.
Terry's chocolate orange for you, Chick.
But half-time's coming in. Bonnier Groves 0, East 5-0. Kelty Hearts 1, Montrose 0. Kelty went ahead in the first minute there. Alloa 1, Clyde 0 at half-time. Forfar 1, Annan 1, Stranraer 0, Stirling Albion 1. They will very much, Albion, have their sights set on the title there in League 2. Wraith Rovers 2, Cove Rangers 0 at half-time. Queen of the South 1, Falkirk 0, Dumbarton 0, Albion Rovers 4, Partick Thistle 0, Dundee 0, as Chip was telling us.
Half-time, Kenny. Livingston 2, Ross County 0.
Half-time at Rugby Park as well. It's Kilmarnock 1, St Johnstone 0.
Thanks, guys. Airdrie now 4-0 up on Peterhead. Gabby McGill with his second of the game there on the 2 minutes into first half stoppage times. All the scorelines.
Paradise Dundee United 1, St Mirren 0.
Yes, a fantastic first half there for the home side. Stephen Fletcher given the lead on 3 minutes in that one. That's a half-time scoreline just coming through. Airdrie 4, Peterhead 0. Let's then get back to Celtic Park. Just seen David Marshall taking an eternity over a goal kick. There's going to be plenty of that at Celtic Park. Jim McAnally.
Yeah, the wingers have switched over. Maeda's out on the right, Jota's went to the left, and you know, it's just getting a wee bit desperate. But I think Ange Postecoglou at half-time will possibly maybe think about Haksabanovic coming on, somebody a wee bit more intricate, somebody that can go past somebody. Maeda, when he's not running into space, struggles a wee bit, so you might find it might look to his bench. There's Lee Johnson away to get a yellow card now, and we could have another 2 minutes added to this half.
My goodness, so we're going to see, he's just here he is, Steve McLean going over Leanne.
It's been a strange old half, that's for sure.
Yeah,
Kenny, that's half-time at Oakville View. It's Queen's Park 0, Inverness Cali Thistle 1.
Thanks to Kenny Crawford, the leaders behind. What a run Inverness Cali Thistle are on ahead of their Scottish Cup semi-final. Full coverage on BBC Scotland Television and radio. That's the lunchtime kick-off on the Saturday. The Old Firm play on the Sunday. Full coverage of that one, of course, on Sports. I've just seen the pictures. Leanne go to Ange Postecoglou just shaking his head there, hands in the pocket. He's got a big jacket on today. It's not great weather here in Glasgow, but this will be interesting to see what develops in the second half at Celtic Park.
Yeah, but I suppose we've sat at times, Kenny, where there's been 6-7 minutes left.
Yeah, and you know what's happening, don't you?
In a 90-minute period.
Yeah.
Celtic have been behind this season, and they go and they turn it around because they create opportunities endlessly, and that will continue. And Jim's right, he'll probably at some point, Ange Postecoglou, look to his bench, and he's got equally talented players on the bench that come in and they make impacts, they score goals, they create opportunities. And when you're this Hibernian side, that you're putting an awful lot into the game to keep up with that, the loss of the player in terms of Eli Johan sending off, you're putting an awful lot of work into the game, and you don't necessarily get the just rewards for it.
Half-time scoreline: Dunfermline 0, FC Edinburgh 0. So the leaders there in League 1 being held. We're just waiting on 2 games. Is it they're still going there, waiting on Celtic against Hibs? Lots of extra time added there, as Jim McInally telling us. Also still playing at Pittodrie, Willie Miller.
Still playing here, yes. That 6 minutes added on. We're getting towards the end of it, but the pace is furious. Hearts have come back into the game. They haven't created too much as a half-time whistle goes. Here at half-time, Kenny, it's Aberdeen 3, Hearts 0.
Yeah, an absolutely fantastic performance from the Dons in the first half there. Duke on 5 and 21 minutes and Matty Pollock on 28 minutes. So they will still fancy their chances, Aberdeen, of closing, cutting, maybe even getting to Hearts in third spot. We shall see. But as Alan was saying earlier, their away form will certainly have to improve if they are to do that. But they can do no more than they're doing the first half against Hearts, who have been poor there at Pittodrie this afternoon. We touched on the really bad record that Hearts have got. They're lost their last 7 at Pittodrie, haven't won in 9. They trail by 3-0 there at half-time. The half-time whistle has gone at Tannerise. Dundee United 1, St Mirren 0. Stephen Fletcher with a goal there. Also a great first half performance from the home side at Rugby Park. Kilmarnock 1, St Johnstone 0. Joe Wright on 38 minutes. Derek Ferguson telling us Livingston in total control against Ross County. County were in it in the early stages, but Newbley on 37. Devlin just a minute later has Livingston 2-0 up there against Ross County. Earlier today, our first commentary today, Motherwell 2, Rangers 4. A great game there, some big calls again. VAR getting involved in that one. Lots and lots of talking points there, some close calls. So just waiting, Jim McInally at Celtic Park, waiting for that half-time whistle. It's just relentless pressure from what we can see here.
Yes, I mean, it's just like a training session at the minute, but there's no end products for Celtic at the minute, and you must give credit to Hibs that they're defending absolutely brilliantly. It's whether they can maintain it. But Celtic are just lacking that wee bit of quality just about the box, and that's what I was saying. I think you might go to his bench earlier than he usually does.
This is where, though, Jim, when I'm looking at it, you're right, Hibs are doing an excellent job defensively. They're offering Celtic the wide areas, go and take the flanks, we'll drop in, we're compact, we'll defend the box. But when you don't have players like Moy and Hatate, I think they're the 2 key players that go and unlock those central areas. At times it doesn't matter how many bodies you've got behind the ball, they'll find a way to play through it. And that's, to me, just now looking at it, for the bits that I'm catching, it looks like that's what's missing from the Celtic performance. They probably don't have anybody on the bench necessarily that gives you that same type of contribution.
No, to lose Moy and Hatate at the same time, that's half time here at Celtic Park, is a massive loss to them, because they are the guys that open the teams up. And to be fair, Matt O'Reilly is good enough at it and all, so I think they just need to step up a wee bit. But they'll keep going, and it's going to be a long half for Hibs, that's for sure. Yeah, no doubt about it. But Lee Johnson's side have their noses in front there at Celtic Park. All the half-time reaction to come right here on Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland.
Chance score! Open all mics on FM and BBC Sounds.
Live on Sports Sound from BBC Radio Scotland.
Just listen to the roar from the Scotland supporters inside Hampden.
Can Steve Clarke's men do it again?
Lift off!
And reach the biggest stage in continental football.
The players, you could see just what this moment means to them.
I just want to be involved in a team that's playing in major tournaments.
We don't want to rely on the playoffs. We want to qualify from the group first or second, and that's what we'll try and do.
Scotland in the Euro 2024 qualifiers.
The Scots will host Cyprus in the opening qualifier, followed just a few days later by a visit from the Spanish.
Kicking off next Saturday with Off the Ball from noon and Sports Sound from 1.
What a goal!
On BBC Radio Scotland.
It's been an incredible drama in the first halves around the Scottish Premiership, the Championship, Leagues 1 and League 2. Some real shock score lines potentially on the cards. We kicked off at lunchtime. It finished Motherwell 2, Rangers 4. So the half-time scores in the top flight: Aberdeen 3, Hearts 0, Celtic 0, Hibs 1, Dundee United 1, St Mirren 0, Kilmarnock 1, St Johnstone 0, Livingston 2, Ross County 0. Into the Championship, Hamilton Accies 0, Ayr United 2, Partick Thistle 0, Dundee 0, Queen's Park 0, Inverness Cally Thistle 1, Raith Rovers 2, Cove Rangers 0. In League One, Airdrie 4, Peterhead 0, Alloa 1, Clyde 0, Dunfermline 0, FC Edinburgh 0, Kelty Hearts 1, Montrose 0, Queen of the South 1, Falkirk 0. In League 2, Bonnyrigg Rose 0, East Fife 0, Dumbarton the leaders 0, Albion Rovers 4, Elgin against Ennismuir. That match was postponed due to a waterlogged pitch. Forfar 1, Annan 1, Stranraer 0, Stirling Albion 1. And in England, the half-time scores: Aston Villa 1, Bournemouth 0, Brentford 1, Leicester City 0, Southampton 0, Spurs 1, Wolves 0, Leeds United 1. The 5:30 kickoff sees Chelsea at home to Everton. What drama in the first half at Celtic Park. There's the option of commentary on that one. Our commentary team there this afternoon: Scott Allen and Stuart Mitchell.
Thanks, Kenny. Yeah, you may not be able to hear me as the Celtic supporters are on their feet for Michael Lustig, who's just come out onto the Celtic Park pitch. But what a first half we've had here in the East End of Glasgow between Celtic and Hibs. There could be no question about the first half mentality from Lee Johnson's side after what he said, previous comments on their visit to Celtic Park back in October, as they have the 1-goal lead at half-time. Carl Starfelt came closest in the opening stages with a header that rattled off the crossbar of David Marshall's goal, and it was the Hibernian goalkeeper who was called into a couple of point-blank superb saves later on in that first half. The most magnificent one from Kyogo, who got a touch in the 6-yard area. Marshall threw everything at it and somehow managed to keep it out of the net. CJ Egan-Riley had a strike that troubled Joe Hart a little as he was reaching to the top corner, but it went over the crossbar. But then drama as Eli Yuan, the lone Hibs attacker this afternoon, was given a yellow card on 19 minutes, and 24 minutes after a clash with Cameron Carter-Vickers, there was a slight hesitation from the referee to allow play to continue. He drew it back, attention was given to the Celtic centre-back, and then another yellow card, second yellow card, was given to the Hibs attacker, which resulted in a red. Some confusion around from the Hibs technical area and up here in the stand, but it looked a difficult task at that point. But then later on in the first half, 37 minutes on the clock, after Celtic cleared the ball in the penalty area, it was Stephen McLean who signalled the VAR monitor. He came over and had a look, and we believe it was for an earlier pull in the build-up from the long throw that Hibs had. Starfelt and Hanlon, a little bit of a pull, I believe, in the penalty box. After looking at Stephen McLean, had no doubt, he pointed to the penalty spot, and up stepped Josh Campbell, who had made no mistake and sent Joe Hart the wrong way. Celtic piled on the pressure at the end of that first half, but not many clear-cut opportunities apart from Jota hitting the side netting after 8 additional minutes played. An engaging first half here at Celtic Park, Scott Allen, but one comment you've made throughout that first half is just how well Hibs have defended throughout.
Yeah, I think Lee Johnson's players will be absolutely delighted how that first half went. Not with the 10 men, but the reaction since that, it's been incredible, defending the wide areas, and we know how dangerous Celtic are in the areas and the wee clever passes they play inside your fullback. So from that point of view, fantastic. David Marshall, outstanding, some of the saves as well, and they've managed to get a goal, albeit through a penalty, but something to give them hope in the second half and to fight for and defend their box, which they've done so well in the first half.
Lee Johnson would have just wanted to see that 1-goal lead through to half-time. His side managed to do it. A big second half head here at Celtic Park. At half-time, it's Celtic 0, 10-man Hibernian 1.
Right, what a second half awaits us there at Celtic Park. Open all mics and the option of commentary there from that game. Hibs with the advantage. Let's then get to Willie Miller. What a first half for you there at Pittodrie, Willie.
Kenny, quite magnificent. It's been a sensational performance from Aberdeen. It's been pulsating, actually, and we've had 3 goals to boot at half-time here in a game, or a first half, that Aberdeen have completely dominated. They've ripped Hearts open, they've outplayed them, and they've outfought them as well, and they've showed a fair bit of class in dispatching the 3 goals. Shinnie down the left-hand side, initially putting the cross into the box. Difficult to want to defend. Clark managed to get his hand on it, but it dropped to Duke, who took it in the volley. All you can ask from the striker is to get his head over it and make sure he gets it in target. He did that, took a little deflection, and it ended up in the back of the net. That was just in 5 minutes, and you know, the pressure didn't stop on Hearts. 21 minutes, they got the second goal. McCrory, who's been outstanding down the right-hand side, and calls for an international selection, I think, is very valid indeed. Set up Pollock, who put a delicate cross just into round about the penalty areas. Duke made the run forward, found the pocket of space and just let it slide off his forehead into the far corner to give Aberdeen that second one. But they weren't finished then. 28 minutes, it was Pollock this time from a free kick. It was Clarkson that took the free kick on the right-hand side. He dinked it into just about, maybe about 12 yards out, and Pollock all on his own. No one defending him, no Hearts defenders in sight. Diving header, and he drilled it into the back of the net to give Aberdeen that third goal. I've witnessed some very, very good performances here at Pittodrie this season, but this is a class above it. This is something, if they can replicate or even get close to it away from home, then there's no doubting that third place is still in sight.
Yeah, no doubt as well that Barry Robson is doing a decent job. The home side also in control at Tannadice, Alan Preston.
Yeah, they do, Kenny. Willie Muller doesn't have to go on. 3 minutes into the game, the United took the lead. It was a Taylor header. It was not a great header. He was backtracking, knocked it down. Fletcher, first touch with his right foot, second touch from 18 yards with his left, found the bottom corner, brilliant finish. It was all United in that early period. BH had a 25-yarder just wide. Smith then had a shot also wide. And then St Mirren's first effort was when Aina slipped. Main was through, but his left foot shot went straight at Birigiti. Then it was United again. Edwards with a header deflected wide, and from the resulting corner, Fletcher effort just shot over. I'm sure Stevie Robinson will give them 5-10 minutes and start to make changes. Jim Goodwin will want more of the same. Half-time score, Dundee United 1, St Mirren 0.
Yeah, the home side's in control this afternoon. Rory Loy, the same story for you at Rugby Park.
Yes, indeed. 3 chances for the home side. Kilmarnock inside the first 10 minutes. A Mayo header was comfortably saved by Remy Matthews, and then a lovely pass from Watson played in Doidge, and a last-ditch Considine challenge, seen it out for a corner. Armstrong then had a free kick on 8 minutes, which was really well saved by Remy Matthews. On to the 19th minute, and it was the goal that never was. Kyle Vassell looked like he twisted and volleyed home. However, by the time the players had got back to the halfway line to restart the match, the referee was called over to VAR. It was ruled out for handball. Armstrong had another chance on 28 minutes, which he just put past the post, but after a fantastic run, Gray Wright was booked for a foul on Jordan Jones, and Jordan Jones duly whipped a ball into the box, and Joe Wright with a lovely finish at the back post, although you could potentially point the finger at Remy Matthews' position on that one. St Johnstone did have one chance towards the end of the half. Melker Hallberg blasted over. St Johnstone were also out 3-4 minutes before Kilmarnock, no doubt with the manager's words ringing in their ear. He'll be expecting an immediate response. It's Kilmarnock 1, St Johnstone 0.
There's a choice of listening now. If you want to hear full commentary of Celtic against Hibs, that's on Radio Scotland Extra, medium wave and online. There's also commentary of Aberdeen against Hearts. That's online at the BBC Scotland website or the BBC Sport app. Here on FM, Sounds and digital, it's Open All Mics.
Chance score! Open All Mics on FM and BBC Sounds.
Live on Sports Sound from BBC Radio Scotland.
Right, let's continue a roundup of the games. I know the second half's underway there at Almond Vale, Derek Ferguson, but the home side very much in control.
They certainly are. They've started well in this second half, Kenny. 2 minutes into the second half, Devlin just on the overlap there, a good shot, well saved by the keeper, and the 2 goals, yeah, it was a wee bit of struggle, I've got to be honest with you, Kenny, first half an hour, but it all changed. 37 minutes, it was Penrice away out on that right hand side, precise cross, picking out Joe Noble at the back post, the guy Tome with the head, and then a minute later they doubled the lead. Livingston, wonderful strike it was from captain Nicky Devlin from about 18 yards out, giving Laidlaw and goals no chance. So we're well underway in the second half. It's Livingston 2, Ross County 0.
We already have a goal in the second half. Airdrie 5, Peterhead 0, Adam Frizzell on 47 minutes. Let's get into the championship then and get to Hamilton Accies against Ayr United. There for us, Gavin Wallace.
Yeah, Kenny, still 2-0 to Ayr United, and to be honest, well, the goals came in the 12th minute. Ben Dempsey with a penalty after Dan O'Reilly handled inside the box. It was cool, calm and collected, as you like, as he sent the goalkeeper the wrong way, Dempsey did. And then on the 27th minute, Sam Ashford, again, as cool as you like. There's just so much composure and confidence about Lee Bullen's Ayr United at the moment. Deepak Akinyemi slipped him through, and all he had to do was slip it beyond the goalkeeper. As Ayr United break through now, can they get there? And they've still got it alive, but to be honest, Hamilton, Kenny, have been absolutely poor. I've got nothing on my notepad from the first half for them, but in fairness, Ayr United have really pegged them back. Ayr playing with a right good confidence about them, and they're up 2-0.
Yeah, Hamilton Accies with a real fight in their hands to preserve their championship status. Let's then get to the other end of the table. Partick Thistle against Dundee at Firhill with Chick Young.
It's a curious old game, this, Kenny. The first 45 minutes, it's very combative, competitive. The teams have had a real go at one another, and some hefty challenges going in, but actually no real goal-mouth drama. Nothing really for either David Mitchell on the Thistle goal or Adam Lesgins to deal with in Dundee goal. They're desperately, of course, wanting to get a victory here. The Partick Thistle with all 3 points would leapfrog Dundee at the top of the table. It's not happening at the moment, and a lot of frustration about the place. It's been an interesting game, but we are very much void of goal-mouth opportunities. We're already 3 minutes into the second half, and it's still Thistle 0, Dundee 0.
Frustration for the leaders. Kenny Crawford at home to Inverness Cally Thistle.
Yeah, 48 minutes gone here at Ochilview. Queen's Park 0, Cally Thistle 1. A real test of Owen Coyle's side. Steel and resolve coming up in the next 45 minutes or so. It was a great goal that separates the side. Dan Mackay on 27 minutes. Really nice controlled finish into the only little spot of the goal that was really free. He'll be pleased with that one. But Queen's Park haven't played badly, and they were unlucky to see Stephen Ezzy's header hit the post within the first 5 minutes. So really, really interesting to see whether Queen's Park can haul themselves back into this one, or whether it's going to be a wobble for the Spiders at the top. Queen's Park 0, Cally Thistle 1.
Clyde have equalised away at Alloa. Liam Scullion with equaliser there on the 52nd minute. Leeds United are now 2-0 up away to Wolves. Luke Ayling with a goal on 49 minutes. The second half, Leanne Crichton at Celtic Park. It's going to be fascinating to watch it unfold, isn't it?
It will be, yeah. I don't expect anything, though. You know, sitting here, I think it's going to be really tough for Hibs to hold on to the advantage that they've got. I would be shocked if Celtic don't manage to at least get themselves level in the game. When you look at the quality that they've got on the bench, players like Zabada, Haksabanovic that Jim's mentioned already, with the quality of players that's on the pitch, I would imagine that Ange Postecoglou's probably had a word with them at half-time in terms of the end product that they've shown this afternoon, because it hasn't been anywhere near as good as what we're used to seeing from this Celtic side. But a huge 45 minutes coming up for Lee Johnson and his Hibs players, absolutely.
Che Adams equalised for Southampton at home to Spurs. That's one apiece. Alan Preston, I think there's some news of some Hearts fans who've had enough there at Pittodrie.
Well, I asked my mate how does the game going, and he sent me a picture. He's back in the team bus, not the team bus, but he's back in the supporters bus. They left this morning at 9 o'clock, and he's sitting with his feet up in the bus. He said, I've left half.
Is he any good, Alan? Is he any good?
He is good.
You could get him stripped,
very
though.
good.
You could get him off of that team bus and get him stripped.
He's snookered if he's got to listen to you, Alan.
Honestly, I feel like putting the mic down and gone myself.
Are you underway there at Tannadice, Alan?
Oh, Duke! Oh, what a sensational effort from Duke. Fully 30 yards out there, right foot, hits his dipping, it's moving. Clark's got to be alert to adjust himself and tip it over the bar. Fantastic effort from the striker.
Nah, he catches it sweet, Willie. He obviously sensed the fact that Alan was in tender hooks there and thought we'll just rub salt in the wound.
We just had to make sure that actually happened. We'll just wait and see the picture, but we can't confirm it.
I think he's making it up.
Willie's on the wind-up.
I think he's making it up.
Willie on repeat, he's just playing out. Duke!
It's been a while since we heard that, the old Duke chant from Willie. But
Clarkson strikes one now. Clarkson.
That's it, Willie. Change up the numbers and everything.
Yeah,
sound
throw
like
it about.
He's on track 2 now, that's what he's on.
This is a shocker from Hearts, Willie, isn't it? It sounds like a dreadful performance.
Oh, they're getting a doing, they would say, in old terms. But they are, I mean...
Or a duking.
A duking, yeah. Well said. But no, and they haven't laid a glove on Aberdeen so far. They've got a chance here because Snodgrass is through. He's got the pace to get away from McDonald. He's got the strike. Oh! It just slides past the post. Big chance for Hearts. The best chance. He was really treading water there. Snodgrass trying to get away from the centre back. He had to eventually slide and try to take the strike on as he was sliding. and agonisingly for Hearts, it just slid by the post.
McDonald actually does really well, Willie, just to narrow the angle and put Snodgrass under that pressure, because if he's got an opportunity to almost set himself to hit the shot, he probably keeps it on target. But Aberdeen caught certainly watching, because they were really over committed in that far left hand side.
I think about 1,000 St Mirren fans made a journey to Tannadice this afternoon, Alan. They're not much to cheer about.
No, they've not, but they've got a bit more of the ball at the start of the second half, Ken. They've had a couple of corners as well. Just got the crowd, 8,131 at Tannadice, and the majority of them Dundee United fans are very pleased with the way that they're going. I think Pollock playing off of Fletcher is very, very good for them. But it's how long Pollock can last. We heard Jim Goodwin saying, you know, he'll speak to him at half time and see how he goes. So it'll be interesting, because he's been excellent, been a really good foil for Fletcher. Fletcher's very, very clever, winning everything in the air and flicking it on, and Pollock with his pace. But how long can that last? 1-0 still to Dundee United.
Leicester City have equalised away at Brentford. Harvey Barnes with a goal there on 52 minutes. East Fife have gone a goal up away at Bonnyrigg Road's Alan Troughton on 57 minutes. Wraith Rovers now 3-0 up against Cove Rangers. Ryan Nolan with a third goal there for Rovers. So back underway at Celtic Park. Jim McInally, what's happening there?
Celtic still feeling their way back into the second half to a certain extent. They're still eating the ball, but you know, still not opening up yet. For me, they need to get more balls in the box. It's too much football in the wider areas. Here we go again. Here's Maeda in the left wing. Gets in a great cross. Oh, unlucky.
Yeah, it's
just going to be waves attack. That's just the way it's going to be.
It's all about discipline and concentration. All these things that are so important now for the Hibs players.
Exactly. And I've got more chance of getting a game than Kevin Nisbet this half, that's for sure.
Another chance there, Kenny. Matty Pollock at the back post. Clarkson's deliveries have been absolutely incredibly accurate.
Kilmarnock adamant they've got a penalty this time, or should have a penalty. Plays continued on. It was a corner into the box. And every single Kilmarnock player reacted the same way. Just waiting to see now. It's Joe Wright who wants the penalty. What's given when the play stops. As it stands at the moment, St Johnstone on the attack. They've actually started the second half really well, Kenny. Dre Wright had a shot that was parried by Sam Walker, and then Halberg had a shot which was well blocked by Watson, followed by back-to-back corners. So St Johnstone have been on top in this second half. It's been a really good game. I've enjoyed it, I must say. And the referee now has his hand to his ear and obviously communicating.
Oh, brilliant!
Another penalty claim here at Celtic Park.
Right, so what's happening there? It's a VAR check, is it? VAR check,
they're playing on.
Really, I think it's Andy Considine perhaps that goes up. His arm is certainly above his head. Difficult from that image that I seen there to determine whether it's definitely come off his hand.
But penalty Celtic. I told you it was coming. With Gavin Duncan, well, certainly Gavin Duncan's no give this one, but he would have done. That's for sure. But it was all happening in the box.
Yeah, just waiting for a replay to come in. So Steve McLean's the referee there.
Just quickly, great chance for St Mirren. Lovely diagonal ball by Taylor to Strain. He gets his cross in. O'Hara's at the back post. Gets a shot, it's going in, and I think it's Edwards gets back and puts it off the line. St Mirren a lot better in the second half. Still 1-0 Dundee United.
I think that Celtic one's handling on Carter Vickers.
Right, so there's an initial one for a handball which was waved away, as Jim said, and then it was a handling on Carter Vickers.
I think so. I'm looking at Hanlon certainly pleading his case to the referee.
He yellow carded him, Leanne,
I need to see it again, yeah.
I think still he was going on at Rugby Park. This is ridiculous.
Still checking?
Yeah, they're still checking. Do you know what I don't understand? Is see if the... Oh, there we go.
Jota just stepping up here.
Play on.
Take this penalty at Celtic Park.
Right, big moment here. Can Celtic get back on level terms after Hibs went ahead in the spot in the first half? Jota stepping up.
Here he goes. Oh, he squirmed under David Marshall. He maybe should have saved it, but it's a goal, one each.
Marshall goes.
Should he have saved it, Leanne?
He goes the right way. He'll be disappointed with himself. It goes under his arm.
It looked like he nearly dived beyond it.
Yeah. In the corner, right enough from Jota. You know, if the goalkeeper goes the opposite way, he'd be calling it a brilliant penalty. But because Marshall guesses correctly, I think he'll be disappointed, especially with his history.
I've just seen that again.
With his history of penalty saves, I think he'll be disappointed.
Wraith Rovers 4-0 up now in Cove Rangers. Dylan Easton with the latest goal there. Alloa back in front at home to Clyde Murray Miller on the hour mark there for the home side. Albion 2-1. Murray Miller on 60 minutes. Raith Rovers 4, Cove Rangers 0. Jota with that penalty on 52 minutes. Marshall got there, but the ball just went underneath him, Leanne.
It did, yeah, no, just went underneath his body. Certainly a sore one for him to take when you get so close to it as a goalkeeper. But it's just that pressure that Celtic have been putting on Hibs for the most part of the afternoon, you would need to say, and it's hard to see beyond a Celtic victory, even at 1-1.
Well, here's a long throw for Hibs near the corner flag. The boy Miller can certainly throw it, that's for sure. It's like a corner.
These are brilliant opportunities though, Jim, to get bodies in the box. This is probably their best chance, as you say.
It's their only chance, and probably Celtic quite enjoy it too, because they make it maybe hit on them, a break on them quite quick, but Hibs are back in there.
There's a double change at Dundee United, and we wondered how long Pollock would last. That's 57 minutes he's lasted. He's off, as is Jamie McGrath. He picked up an injury as well. Didn't look too well as he walks off. In comes Arno Zoom and Kai Fotheringham for United, still leading 1-0. St Mirren a lot better in the second half.
What's Kenny? Yep.
Hamilton have had a shot on goal.
Oh well, we'll take that
from about.
That's improvement.
It is 35 yards, and it was Connor Smith, but it landed in Iceland's car park. To be fair,
okay, Gavin, easy.
It's been poor from Hamilton though. Like there's nothing. I haven't had anything written down for them. It just looks really, really bad. They brought on a striker who they signed from the Finnish side, KTP. That Benny Ashley Seal. He's not really getting a sniff either. But in defensive area United, there's such a high pressure in the Bullen's team today.
What's happening in your game, Derek Ferguson?
The County have made a couple of changes. Sims and Edwards have come off, and on has come Callaghan and Murray. They have to change it up a little bit because Livingston are just comfortable at the moment. You know, playing I think well within themselves, but nobly on the ball. He's a great little dribble by the way. He's different for a big guy. He's different class with his feet. You know, so comfortable. But in front of goal, County, I mean, they're playing with the two up top. We've got White and Brophy, but the keeper's not been worked. They've not worked the keeper whatsoever this afternoon, and you just get the feeling that Livy are going to get a third.
Well, on the subject of keepers, Jim McInally, you kick us off on this one. Angus Gunn into the Scotland squad. Steve Clarke said the player felt he had a better chance of getting a cap with Scotland. I'd love to know your thoughts on this. How Liam Kelly, how Xander Clark will feel when a guy decides he wants to play for Scotland now, and these are guys that turn up on a regular basis. I mean, do you think it's harsh on these two? How would you be taking it?
I think it's harsh on most of the available goalkeepers to Scotland. I mean, if he's already committed himself to England, and basically he's only come to Scotland because he's got a chance of a game, I think that's, it's poor for the other goalkeepers. I don't really like to get involved in stuff like that, but I've obviously played with Scotland youth with his father, and he was obviously Scottish, so I find it all a bit mysterious why he never committed to Scotland in the first place.
Yeah, Willie, what are your thoughts? He played under 16s, 17s, 19s, 20s and 21s for England. He's now chosen Scotland. Your thoughts on that, Willie?
You're allowed to do it, Kenny, aren't you? So it's just decision making. To be perfectly honest, if he goes in there and saves a penalty in a crucial, or makes saves and he becomes, the #1 goalkeeper, then I don't really think it matters too much. I think he's taken a long time to make his mind up, and I have said that to his father. But at the same time, I'm quite glad that he has made his mind up. And it gives you another quality goalkeeper to call upon. So I understand what Jim's saying. I think. If I was a goalkeeper, a Scottish goalkeeper, committed myself, but he's got the choice. He's got the choice of England and Scotland, and for me, I'm glad eventually he's got to the decision that it's Scotland for him.
Derek, your thoughts on this one?
His father is tremendous in Ibiza. It was a weekend in Ibiza way back in the day. Him and Big Tatty.
Go on, Derek.
It was different class. Him and Tatty. And again, I put that down to my baldness because, they bleached their hair. Yes, it was everything going into the hairdos at that time. And I've got
lemon juice first.
Aye, the whole lot. Everything. I don't know what was put in my head. But it's resulted in no hair.
It's not done you any harm, clearly.
Well, it's done me.
I
don't know about that. No,
it's a chance. Shankland's through though. It's a chance for him. Good recovery from Scales there. Scales and McDonald, I think it was, that got himself into a bit of Fanko. And Shanklin was in on his left foot, but Scales managed to recover and get back and get the block in. It's a corner for Hearts. Hearts a lot better in the second half. Changed shape, went to a back four as well, and it seems to be working for them. They've got a say in this game at this moment in time, but still a long way off turning it round.
Chick, were you going to come in this one?
I was just going to say, are we in a position to be choosy about I mean, we're not exactly champions of the world. I think any talented player who wants to play for Scotland we should accept, and maybe learn a wee lesson from the rugby people who about a cosmopolitan bunch of players. If ever there was one, guys from all over the world playing for Scotland, and they've been pretty successful this season. So I think we've got to just, and in the past, I mean, we've got with guys who have had accents which weren't really.
I don't think the issue is necessarily that, Chick. The issue is that he's rejected time and time again, and that Zander Clark and Liam Kelly have turned up all the time, and is he just going to walk straight in front of them? There's got to be a degree of loyalty. I don't think it's the fact that he's not, born in Scotland or anything like that. I don't think that's the issue.
I think the issue is
it's not about turning up. I'd rock up every week and try and get a game.
It's a social media post where in the Euros football was coming home and they liked Scotland or going home. That's not going to help his cause.
He posted that.
That's on social media.
Are we hearing the beepers going on here, Chick? He backtracked again.
He likes a tweet off saying football is coming home.
Goal for Queen's Park. It's an equaliser.
Yes, Kenny.
And it's Grant Savoury. He's a brilliant midfielder. Jim McInally will know him well from his Peterhead days. He's trickster, he's tidy, and this time he's not the biggest, but he's popped up at the back post with a header past Mark Ridgers to make it Queen's Park 1. Inverness, Cali Thistle 1.
So right back in it. Airdrie now 6-0 up at home to Peterhead. Callum Gallagher on 63 minutes. Leeds United 3-0 up away to Wolves. Christensen with a third goal there. That's you right up to speed with everything. What's happening at Celtic Park, Jim McInally?
Corner to Celtic, but 3 substitutions just about to be made. Abada and Bernabe coming on for obviously Greg Taylor. I wouldn't think Kyogo. I wouldn't think Matt O'Reilly's went off at the corner flag. I'm not sure who the next one is. I wouldn't be surprised if it was Kyogo when they're chasing a goal. Maeda's the other substitute.
Kenny, how long will we have to wait before Harvey Barnes decides he's not going to play for England and then comes and joins us? Oh, it's an equaliser! Taylor, hold on, flag's gone up. Have a look at Leanne. It's a good ball into the box for the free kick. Taylor with a diving header. Flag goes up immediately. It didn't look offside to me, but it will be checked.
Never looked offside to here.
He looked like he was just ahead, Alan.
Yeah. I thought he was just inside the 6-yard box.
Aye, just a tad early. He's gone. I haven't seen it from across the pitch. Only the angle from behind, but he certainly did look like he had a marginal advantage. Get a better look now. He's just gone too early. Although with the lines that I've seen this afternoon, anything could be given.
We're told everything's working fine. It was just, I think there were some angles we saw earlier on which caused a lot of people to debate these issues.
Crossbar. Off the crossbar at Pittodrie. Again for Aberdeen, it's Coulson this time from the right hand side with the left foot, just curling it in. Deliveries have been excellent. Pollock again with a header, and Clark having to eventually, just punch it away, but it did come off the crossbar first. Decent reaction from Clark in goal, and they're getting peppered. There was Scales up there again.
We're still
and Scales putting it over the bar.
I'm trying to overtalk him. We're still waiting at Danadis.
Can I just mention something about the Angus Gunn thing? Surely then, I understand what everyone's saying, but if you're Liam Kelly and Zander Clark, surely then you just up your game a little bit more. I'm not saying that they're bad, far from that, right? But if this is coming in, so we know what's happening, then surely maybe the onus is then on the other goalkeepers to really make sure Steve Clark has got a real sore head when it comes to picking, when it comes to that starting 11. Give Steve Clark a real sore head, and then we won't really need to talk about that.
We're still waiting. Is this not an easy one? Is it not close to the 6-yard box?
I think
it's congested. There was a lot of players in there.
Everybody's across the edge of the 18, Alan, so they'll be looking at every shoulder, toe, armpit, fingernail,
Cove Rangers have pulled a goal back away at Wraith Rovers. Jackson Longridge on 66. Wraith Rovers 4, Cove Rangers 1.
No chance, goal!
You did it.
It's Murray. Oh no, it's their usual. It goes up, the flag goes up. I thought Brophy might have been offside, but he's waited to Murray, puts into the back of it, then the flag goes up. Oh, that does my nut in.
That baldy nut.
Attendance at Fair Hill, Kenny.
Yeah.
Attendance at Fair Hill, Kenny. 3,656. Good atmosphere, actually. Oh, we could do with a goal, though.
Aye, it doesn't sound high in quality, that one, that's for sure.
Good chance here for Celtic for a corner kick. Played to the front post, flicked on, and should do better for me. He heads it over the bar when he's unchallenged, and for me that's a good chance for a striker.
Yeah, see Angus Gunn's in goal, and it's a penalty shootout, and if he saves it, then we qualify for the World Cup, and he saves it. What do you say then?
We love him.
Exactly. It's football, isn't it?
Doesn't he save it? What do we say then?
That's football.
Is he better than Xander Clark and Liam Kelly? Does anyone actually have, has anyone actually seen him? For me, Xander Clark's playing for Hearts. He's playing every week. I'm not saying that he's on the same level as Craig Gordon, but Craig Gordon was getting picked every week for playing for Hearts. So, if Xander Clark's going in there, as far as I'm aware, I don't see them every week. Alan will know better than me. He's doing very, very well. Yeah. For what reason?
Very well today,
I think the manager has seen them, surely. And that's the most important opinion.
Has anyone asked if David Marshall's been asked?
I don't know, Steve Clark. I wasn't at the presser midweek. I don't know if he was asked that or not, Alan, but certainly that's one I think you brought up in the programme when we knew this situation was going to be arriving ahead of these qualifiers. Would they reach out to David Marshall? What would he say? But there'll be no update on that. I'll give you an update on the latest scores then. So Aberdeen 3, Hearts 0, Celtic 1, Hibs 1, Dundee United 1, St Mirren 0, Kilmarnock 1, St Johnstone 0, Livingston 2, Ross County 0. In the Championship, Hamilton Accies 0, Ayr United 2, Partick Thistle 0, Dundee 0, Queen's Park 1, Inverness Cally Thistle 1. It's now Wraith Rovers 5, Cove Rangers 1. In League 1, Airdrie 6, Peterhead 0, Alloa 2, Clyde 1, Leaderton Fairmont 0, FC Edinburgh 0. Yes,
St Mirren. Curtis Main.
Oh, what a finish that is! Dre Wright! St Johnstone nicked the ball into the middle of the pitch. Rudden runs forward. He shoots, the ball's blocked. It finds its way to Dre Wright, and he absolutely arrows it with his right foot low to the right-hand side of Sam Walker, straight into the corner. It's St Johnstone, who have been better in this second half, that have equalised. It's Kilmarnock 1, St Johnstone 1.
Yeah,
Kenny, we have a goal. Kenny, we do have a goal.
Right, take it away, Derek.
Yeah, it's been given. I was offline for a minute or so there, but in that time we went to VAR. Willie Collum checked it. Well, was listening. It's been given as a goal, so the goal stands. So it's 2-1 now.
And I'll tell you, it's still a penalty, St Mirren. Main goes the wrong side. Ayuna doesn't see him. He just nips in front of him, and down he goes in the box.
Great.
The referee took his time.
Oh, it's cleared off the line. Kyogos had one cleared off the line at Celtic Park here. Hibs actually had a free kick, really dangerous area. Oh. Celtic broke up the park, and Kyogos nearly scored.
That's somebody defending
there. Have a look at this penalty kick.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a look. Curtis Main just nicked in front, Alan.
Yeah, so it's a penalty then.
Yeah, it looked like it to me. I'll get a replay. Just caught it as the action was happening. At the same time, there was a goal at Almond Vale. There was a goal at Rugby Park. There was a fight in the touchline.
At Pataudry.
There's a goal as well, Kenny,
there was
because
nearly
it's
a
2-1
chance
to
at
Queen's
Celtic Park.
Oh my good. Right, Kenny Crawford, take it away.
Yeah, his header hit the post in the first half, but Stephen Eze has made sure he's got one this half. Tom Thomas's corner, and Stephen Eze glancing header into the top right-hand corner. Queen's Park have turned this game around. They're winning 2-1 against Cally Thistle now.
Right, Derek Ferguson.
Yeah, we're just debating whether it's an own goal or whether. I think it's Murray that's got the goal. It was initially when Brophy broke down the left-hand side, I'm thinking he might be offside, but he carried on 20-30 yards, crosses it right across the 6-yard box, and then it's Murray. He just gets in there. I think it was a deflection off of one of the Livy players, but then I went offline, Kenny, for about 30 seconds. I don't know what happened there. In that time, Willie Conlon was having a check. It was checked, and then it was given as a goal. So yeah, we're back to it. So it's Livingston 2, Ross County 1 here.
We've still got the VAR debate going on, and the time this is taken, Birigiti has run over to the touchline, and he's speaking to the goalkeeping coach at Dundee United, clearly to find out where O'Hara pops his penalties.
We've got 4 bookings here though, Alan, at Pataudry. 2 aside after my challenge on Duke. I thought it was a decent enough challenge. It was a full force, but then there was a penalties big melee.
Penalties given,
finally given at Tannadice.
So Bonnyrigg Rose 1, East Fife 1. Callum Conley, the equaliser there on 75 minutes. Stranraer equalised at home to Stirling Albion, 1 apiece. Scott Robertson on 73 minutes. As Kenny was telling us, Queen's Park now 2-1 up at home to Cali Thistles. Stephen Izzy with the goal there in 70 minutes. Simon Murray was saying with that goal for Ross County, 2-1 to Livingston there, and just waiting now on that penalty.
Yeah, penalty at Tannadice. Mark O'Hara's going to take it. He's going to take it right foot. It's about 3 yards away from the ball. Let's see if Birighitti goes the right way. No chance. Right down the middle. 1-1. Good penalty. And I've got to say, St Mirren deserved that. They've been a better side in the second half. Played a lot better. I'm sure Stevie Robinson's had a go at them at half time. They didn't turn up in that opening period. Certainly turned up in the second half. 1-1 at Tannadice.
Yeah, he's very good in the spot. Rory, just got so much happening. They just go through again what happened down there in that game, Rory.
So Rudden and Wotherspoon have come on as it's a double substitution. I can't remember who gave the ball away in the middle of the pitch for Kilmarnock, but Rudden ran forward. He had options either side. He opted to go alone. The shot was blocked by Joe Wright, and it fell to Gray Wright of St Johnstone. Must have been about 25-30 yards out, just to the right of the goal, and with his right foot he's absolutely arrowed one into the bottom corner, low past Sam Walker, who had no chance. And St Johnstone have been better in this second half, to be fair. Kilmarnock have still been good, but St Johnstone have really been in the game. But a fantastic strike from Gray Wright to pull St Johnstone level.
Wow, and when all that was happening, we saw an incredible goal line clearance in your game, Jim McInally, at Celtic Park.
Yes, and another close effort there. Jota does magnificent again in the byline. He looks really the one that could open them up again. Goes along the byline, then comes back onto that right foot, slashes it across. It then deflected to Abada, who volleys it just over the bar. So the pressure is on, but you know, credit to Hibs, they've kept at it, and they're even, you know, they've had throw-ins and up this corner, they've had a free kick up this corner, but the problem is when they do get up the park, they're leaving themselves open for breakaways.
Kenny, can I just go back to the goalkeeping situation with Scotland just for 1 second? I think if David Marshall, if they go back to David Marshall and basically say, will you come out of retirement, that for me is an admission that you feel that Xander Clark and Liam Kelly are not good enough to be the Scotland #1 goalkeeper. And I understand Willie's point, you know, but they have done a lot of the heavy lifting. I mean, we could sit here and say, what if Angus Gunn goes in and doesn't perform particularly well? Well, we would be disappointed, and we will say Xander Clark should have played or Liam Kelly should have played. So you've got to try and view it at this point in time. And I think Xander Clark personally is doing enough at Hearts to be given the jersey going into the 2 qualifiers.
Yeah, man, listen, there's no doubt you big shoes to fill at Hearts. He's done very, very well. Xander Clark, he's a cup winner, of course, a double cup winner at St Johnstone. He's got lots of experience now. It's going to be a big call for Steve Clark. There'll be Scotland media conferences throughout the week and full coverage of that game against Cyprus next Saturday on Sportssound, and then we follow it up with a game against Spain. Right, where to go? Willie Miller, what's happening at Pittodrie?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a much more even second half. You know, Hearts have changed the shape a little bit and made a couple of substitutions, and they found themselves having more of the game, but they haven't troubled the Aberdeen defence too much. Couple of opportunities. That's Snodgrass chance when he was right through, and then Shanklin had one that was blocked as well. But Aberdeen, Shinnie on the ball inside the box. Oh, it's a strike by Ramadani. Takes a little deflection. Great save from that next international goalkeeper, as Rory had pointed out. Xander Clark, he was down his left-hand side, got a little touch on it. It was a deflected one. You know, so a brilliant save. But a strike again. Coulson again, onto the left foot this time. Having the strike, too many players there. It's well blocked. So it's been a good game of football. I think football has won, even although it looks as though the Dons are going to win. I can put that behind me and say football is the winner this afternoon.
Yeah, well, no. Well, is the winner this afternoon.
Thank you.
Just let me tell you, I'll be deleting your number tonight, so just keep it to yourself. All right? He's kind of like you when you get a few glasses of red wine.
He's due this, you'd have to say. It's not been a great spell, but and fair play to Barry Robson. My goodness, I'm sure he was getting his pitch in for the job now. He's been nothing but super confident, I have to say, every time he's spoken since he was put in temporary charge. But on this performance today, he's got lots to crow about, no doubt about that. His side absolutely cruising against second place Hearts. 3-0, a double from Duke and Matty Pollock. Yep.
A wee chance here for Dundee. It's been a weird game this in so many ways, but suddenly Dundee have got a real opportunity here. Free kick, you could be got down during the edge of the box, I think it's going to be Luke McCowan, who's a clever player in this situation, who is going to take it. Although there are two players now over the free kick. A real good opportunity for Dundee to score a vital goal. With McCowan with it. Oh! Just over the crossbar. Still 0-0.
One-way traffic still at Celtic Park, Jim McInally.
Yeah, they've had a few corners now. Kyogo actually peeled off the edge of the box and put shot over the bar there. They're still knocking on the door, but you know, Hibs have shown a great discipline to keep themselves in this game.
Yeah, it tells you everything about the Hibs' performance defensively, Jim. The fact that Kyogo's now resorted to shots outside the box from that type of distance, because that's just not the type of player that he is, you know, so he's clearly feeling the frustration and lack of opportunities and end product, other than the one that we spoke about off the line, of course.
Well, the thing is, Leanne, he's playing with a strike partner for a change. It doesn't happen too often for Celtic, because they're playing a 4-4-2. We always playing up beside him, so he's just trying to float around a wee bit and leave a bit of space, but it's all very tight.
Yeah, so one apiece there at Celtic Park. Also one apiece at Tannadice. Alan Preston, very much game on there.
Yeah, game of two halves. Dundee United dominated that opening period. Kenny got the goals. St Mirren have been brilliant in the second half, and they're the ones, after getting that equalising goal from the penalty spot to O'Hara, they're forcing the issue here at Tannadice. They're piling forward at times. Stevie Robinson very active on his bench, urging his players forward. He realises this could be a big 3 points for him, but it's 1-1 with about 12 minutes to go.
Also one apiece at Rugby Park. Rory Loy, who's on top there? Is it one side looking the more likely?
No, it's very even. Oh, penalty. Oh, it's one of those ones where it carries on into the box. It's a free kick that's been given. I must correct myself. It's Armstrong who's holding off McLennan. The initial foul obviously takes place outside, but Armstrong pushes his way into the box. Leanne might have a look at it.
What's he giving, Rory? Is he giving the penalty?
He's given a free kick. No, sorry, apologies. He's given a free kick, yeah.
Yeah, I'll get a look at it in the replay. We're just
to answer your question, Kenny, it's been very even the second half. It's been a really enjoyable game, I must say. Kilmarnock absolutely dominated the first, but St Johnstone have been far better in the second.
Spurs now 3-1 up away at Southampton. Perisic on 74 minutes. Wraith Rovers are now 6-1 up at home to Cove Rangers. Scott McGill on 79 minutes. Derek Ferguson.
Oh, clearance.
Yeah, Alan.
That's Gogic. It's away. It's a ball to the back post. It's Hart just hopes it knocks it across the goal. And there's Gogic 3 yards out, facing his own goal. Does really well to hook the ball away.
Right, Derek Ferguson counting back in it through there at Almondvale.
Free kick, no penalty.
Yeah, they've got a wee spring in their step as well, Kenny. Playing with 3 up top. You've got White leading the line, and then just off them they've got Murray and Brophy. Samuel as well down this left hand side. So Malky's made the changes. He's throwing everything at it, you know, and they're pinning Livingston back at the moment. So you know, this could go anyway.
Yeah.
Is that a scream there?
Was that Chick?
Is he okay?
Is he okay?
Yeah.
Speak to us, Chick.
It's all right. It's the nicest care home I've ever been in.
And what a run this is! The captain! Oh! It's what a run from Nicky Devlin. He's run about 50, 60 yards there. Gets himself a 1v1 with the keeper. Oh, just a little bit more composure, but you know, just maybe ran out of steam at the end. But what a run from Nicky Devlin.
Aston Villa now 2-0 up on Bournemouth. Jacob Ramsey on 80 minutes. Montrose have equalised away at Kelty Hearts. Michael Gardine on 81 minutes with the equaliser there. Every time we look up Jim McInally, we're just looking at one side of the pitch there at Celtic Park. It's relentless.
We are, but we're still lacking that wee bit of quality into the box. It's Jota's eating the ball in this side, but you know, he's not getting a lot of help, to be honest. I think they're just, I don't know, they're either needing Haksabanovic. You can tell that I like Haksabanovic, yeah, obviously, but he's not even warming up, so it doesn't look as though he's coming on any time soon. So for me, they just need somebody else that can do that wee bit of magic, and I always think he displays that when he's on the pitch, but it's going to be, there's 14 minutes left here, and possibly 5 minutes added on, so they've got 20 minutes to get themselves a goal, but it's a struggle, that's for sure.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Fair play to Hibs. A good performance for them this afternoon, yeah.
Kenny, it's still 2-1 here to Queen's Park against Inverness Caley Thistle, but just an observation, you mentioned earlier on about the bottom of the championship, how tight it is. One thing that could be a real problem for Cove Rangers is a goal difference, because they're minus 28. They've taken a few hammerings over recent weeks, whereas Arbroath are minus 16 and Hamilton are minus 22, so that could prove costly for Cove over the run-in. Yeah, good point. It's going to be very, very tight down there at the bottom. Forfar have gone ahead 2-1 now at home to Annan Ben Armour on 84 minutes. Southampton back in it against Spurs. Theo Walcott on 77 minutes. Southampton 2, Spurs 3 in that game in the English Premier League. So where should we go to now? Let's go back to Willie Miller, because as good as the Dons have been this afternoon, Willie, and very, very good.
Yeah.
You've seen very, very little from Hearts.
Very little, although the change of shape certainly helped to get more men forward, and they seem to be more comfortable in that shape, and obviously something had to happen at half time. And they have had a lot of the ball, but very little in terms of goal mouth action. Just the two kind of breakaways that they had, and it's been disappointing. Better second half. First half dreadful. I mean, Aberdeen were cruising in the first half and completely dominated it. And taking the 3-goal lead. They don't have to do too much in the second half, Aberdeen. Yeah. They're still very much in control of the game.
So Aberdeen 3, Hearts 0, Celtic 1, Hibs 1, Dundee United 1, St Mirren 1, Kilmarnock 1, St Johnstone 1, Livingston 2, Ross County 1. In the Championship, Hammerackies 0, Ayr United 2, Partick Thistle 0, Dundee 0, Queen's Park 2, Inverness Caley Thistle 1, Owen Coyle's side coming from behind there, Wraith Rovers 6, Cove Rangers 1. In League 1, Airdrie 6, Peterhead 0, Alloa 2, Clyde 1, the leaders Dunfermline 0, FC Edinburgh 0, Kelty Hearts 1, Montrose 1, Queen of the South 1, second place Falkirk 0 in that game there. In League 2, Bonnyrigg Rose 1, East Fife 1, Dumbarton the leaders 0, Albion Rovers 4, Elginstone that was postponed, Forfar 2, Annan 1, Stranraer 1, Stirling Albion 1, and in England, Aston Villa 2, Bournemouth 0, Brentford 1, Leicester City 1, Southampton 2, Spurs 3, Wolves 2, Leeds United 3. Derek Ferguson.
Oh, apologies, Ken, I know you were reading out the scores there. No, it was just Brophy just creating a little half yard in the box. Thought he was going to get a strike off. He's only about 12 yards from goal, so I thought it was a good opportunity for them to get level and back in level terms here. But good block from the Livingston defence. But this game, Livingston, they were in complete control at the start of the second half. But Malcolm Mackay's made changes, and the evidence is out there. They're having a right go and they're making chances now.
You're saying Alan Preston much improved since St Mirren. Just look at the stats now. 59% possession for their away side, 12 shots to United, 6, 2 to United's 1 on target, also ahead on corners. Much better from Stephen Robinson's team.
Miles better, absolutely magnificent in the second half, and they're pushing for this winner. United need to hang in this game. I think if United lose this, it could be so damaging to them. It's going to be a long way back. I know that's what would it be, 2 points I think adrift at the moment if the results stay the same. But if Kilmarnock get a winner, Ross County try and get back into it, United lose, you need to be within 3 points all the time at worst. Don't drop 4, don't drop 5. But St Mirren are piling on the pressure. United, they've just switched off in the second half, but I've got to give St Mirren all the credit. They've been magnificent.
Big cheer somewhere.
Another big claim for a penalty at Celtic Park.
Yeah, just having a look at that. We just turned around and saw that there. Paul Hanlon, Liam, will hopefully get another look at that one. Just can tell you, Montrose have gone 2-1 up away at Kelty and Machado on 87 minutes. Airdrie now 7-0 up on Peterhead. Calvin Gallagher on 87 minutes.
Yeah, goal Celtic! Oh, scores a flying header. It's a great cross into the box. He's unmarked, which is incredible considering how well they've defended. And Celtic have now got their goal, 2-1.
Yeah, big celebrations, more the shots off there, Leanne. He had a lot of time, but it was a great header.
Yeah, he was actually marked, but just not very well, Jim. When you look at it, if you get a chance to see it back, but he wants it more. It's put into a really dangerous area, and he attacks it so well. Just to get back to the penalty claim, it was a possible handball that came off of Paul Hanlon, but clearly that wasn't given. The corner was taken. And Celtic have their advantage that they've been chasing all afternoon.
It's not unlike the chance he actually missed earlier, but he's done fantastic there. That's a great header.
Yeah, over that goal on 81 minutes, Leanne. And we said it earlier, we're in this studio so many times this season when Celtic have been behind, you know, they maybe have been struggling for their form, their top gear in the game, but you just always feel it's coming.
It is, because the game is always played in the final third. You know, Celtic don't waste time building the play up at the back. They don't look to recycle it too often. They get the ball forward, they play as quickly and aggressively as they possibly can. They constantly have the opposition in the back foot, and that as a defensive team is an absolute nightmare. To keep that level of concentration for the amount of time that Celtic managed to do that to you is just incredible. Hibs, to their credit this afternoon, have put in an absolute shift to do it with a player less for as long as they have, to take the lead in the game and hold on to the draw for as long as they have. But it was inevitable that Celtic would find the breakthrough, regardless of whether it's come from a set piece or open play.
Yeah, I mean, we'll hear from
Haksabanovic coming on now.
You got your wish. We'll hear from both managers after the game, Jim. But in terms of Hibs, Leanne's saying there, they've done well this afternoon. They're probably going to lose this game, but a lot of positives for Lee Johnson.
Of course there is, and you know what he'll be raging about, and it would be me. They've conceded to 2 corner kicks. Basically, they lost a penalty for a corner kick, and you think, you know, after them getting a reasonably soft penalty kick, that, you know, they would take care in these situations, and he'll be angry with these players that they've not that discipline. And then that goal there, I mean, he shouldn't be scoring for that close in, to be honest, but he'll take loads out the game, but he'll be angry because it's been basically 2 set pieces that have undone him.
Alloa now 3-1 up at home to Clyde. Connor Salmon in the 90th minute there in that game. So let's get to Derek Ferguson. Anything else from County? Are they looking at forcing a point there, Derek?
Yeah, but Livingston had a great chance. It's Bahambula. It was a chance he could clean through. You know, he just had to beat the last defender, and Willie Collin was up at him right away. It was a dive, and quite rightly booked him, but he had a great opportunity just to get past and, you know, put this game to bed. But no, County, you know, credit to them. We keep talking about it. They've made the changes. They're throwing everything at it. You know, as we're getting into the latter stages, we're into time added on, actually, Kenny. So you know, it's desperate times now for County. See if they can salvage a point from this game.
The League 2 leaders, to Barton, have a consolation. It's an own goal from Sonker on 89 minutes, but they're 4-1 down at home to Albion Rovers. First full time is in Bonnyrigg Rose 1, East 5-1. So just waiting on the full-time whistles going in the Premiership games. A few of them very much in the balance. What's happening in your game through there at Rugby Park, Rory Loy?
Well, there's not a lot happening at the moment. It is end-to-end stuff, and it's an enjoyable game to watch. I'm going to be very interested to hear Derek McInnes's take, because I know he was very vocal a couple of weeks ago. Oh, good save! Fraser Murray, the substitute, cuts in from the left-hand side. He angles one to the far corner, but Rennie Matthews equal to it. It's a corner to Kilmarnock. I'll be very interested to hear what he's got to say, because VAR's been involved an awful lot today. I don't think the referee will not be too critical, not having seen a lot of the incidents back. I don't think he's had a great game.
8 added on minutes at Tannadice, 8 minutes to go.
Time for a winner there. Yeah, Derek McInnes, very, very vocal a couple of weeks ago on VAR. Just said he's sick of it, he's had enough. But the concern, Rory, is they rely so much on their home form, and this is one that he surely had down as 3 points this afternoon.
Yeah, and you could have said the same against Motherwell. You know, I know Motherwell look a different prospect to face at the moment since they're upturn on form, but at that moment in time, a home fixture against Motherwell was a winnable game.
Breakaway for Celtic here at Baddisthrew, 1-1 the keeper. Oh, he's fell over. He's gave a penalty. That looks really soft. He looked as though he'd overrun it, and he's fell over the goalkeeper. But
yeah, I would agree, Jim. Certainly, first viewing, I will get another look at it. Certainly, they'll review it at VAR. But what you've had to say about Gavin Duncan this afternoon, we might still see a penalty regardless how soft it is.
Jimmy, we'd all love to forget about VAR.
Richard Foster's going to be busy on the verdict this week, that's for sure. There's been so many incidents.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That will be usually posted around about 10 o'clock on Monday morning. Just have another look at that one there. Here we go. Better angle here.
I don't think it's a penalty. I think Abada kicks the grass himself.
It looked to me as though he'd lost his opportunity, to be honest.
We'll hopefully get a better angle here again, a bit closer.
Here we go now. That's a good angle. Yeah, he tripped. His foot kicked the ground, wasn't it?
He stubbed his toe in the grass.
Albion Rovers have a 5th away at Dumbarton. Charlie Riley in the 91st minute there.
The best of it is that I don't know who's been yellow carded, Jim. Is it David Marshall?
The goalkeeper he's been yellow carded. I mean, it's poor. To be honest, I'm quite glad that I can say this now. It's terrible refereeing.
No, you're spot on.
It's terrible.
I don't know if I can say that.
No, I know. I can say it without getting banned.
Yes.
Yeah, Steve McLean's going over to have a look at this, and you'd think Leannis is going to overcome.
You would think so. Absolutely, you would think so. Abada striding through, as Jim's described perfectly, as he goes to reach to almost stab it beyond David Marshall. He digs his left boot into the turf.
Can I be fair to Steve McLean? From the angle he's at, you can see why he's giving that, no?
No excuses,
but
Kenny.
I actually think you would more so think, Kenny, that the foul had come from behind as opposed to it being the goalkeeper that's committed a foul there. Right. David Marshall's not really motioned or moved towards Abada. It's been overturned anyway, correct decision.
And how is it a Hibs foul now? That's what I don't understand, because it was a throw into Celtic.
Yeah, I think he's just given possibly a drop ball.
He's taking the booking away from David Marshall as well. Yeah, check. Touch it.
Dundee claiming for a penalty kick. We're over the 90 minutes. Time added on.
Full time at Rugby Park. It finishes Kilmarnock once and Johnson won.
Thanks, Rory. Yeah, check.
Yeah, just a claim for a penalty. But I mean, it's been the weirdest game. All the plays in the middle of the park. We've really had few goal-mouth opportunities. I actually don't remember David Mitchell and Thistle making one genuine save, maybe a couple of clutches out the air from corner kicks, that kind of thing. And yet it's been quite competitive in the middle of the park. They've gone about one another, but it looks like the big winners of the afternoon in terms of the promotion race are going to be Queen's Park and Ayr United. And the last thing that I think either Dundee or Thistle wanted here was or maybe the second last thing, but they would like to have gotten all 3 points. Free kick for Dundee hoisted into the box. That's going to be dealt with again. It's still 0-0 and we're well into time added on, Kenny.
That's full time here at New Douglas Park. As you talk about Ayr United, check, it's Hamilton 0, Ayr United 2.
Yeah, right from the start they were on top the way side there. Alloa beating Clyde by 3-1. Wraith Rovers 6, Cove Rangers 1. That's a full time score. Falkirk have been beaten 1-0 away at Queen of the South. And just hearing there from Rory, 1-1 at Rugby Park. Concern for Derek McInnes, who are very much in control of that game. Joe Wright with a goal in 38 minutes. Dre Wright equalising for Saints in the second half there. So just waiting for some tight games to finish. Alan Preston, your game there at Tannadice?
Yeah, but for 2 injuries during this 8 minutes, Kenny, so we'll still have a long period to go here, I would imagine, at Dundee. We've already played 4 of the 8 added on, but I think there'll be another couple added on to that, so I reckon about 10 minutes in total we will play. And United have got the ball in the box. They've rung a couple of changes. They're trying here. Behich is in on the left-hand side. No, chance is gone as it comes back in. There's got to be an effort for Sybil. Edge of the box. Hits his own
Time
man.
up, Kenny. Livingston 2. Ross County 1.
Right,
How
thanks,
big
Derek.
could that be? Dundee United. I think it's Niskanen. Is it Niskanen? Over the far side. It's an effort. It's Kai Fotheringham actually. It's a ball into the box. It eventually comes out and his right foot shot from 18 yards strikes the bottom of the post and away.
Right, thanks Alan Preston. So full time there from Derek Ferguson. Livingston 2, Ross County 1. Newbley on 37 minutes. Nicky Devlin on 38. Simon Murray with a goal for County in the second half, but not enough for Malky Mackay's side. So just waiting on some
7 minutes added on at Celtic Park.
7 minutes, yeah, I mean. Right, just looking to see if there's any other full-time score lines coming in. Aston Villa 3, Bournemouth 0. That's a full-time score line from the English Premier League. Just confirmation. Livingston 2.
What a save! Chance! Oh, he's missed it! Absolute sitter. What a shame. Dundee United. Cujo's through. Left foot shot. He smashes it. It's a brilliant one-handed save as it goes back to Niskanen and the keeper's lying on the ground. Just hit the target and he balloons it over the top of the bar.
It's a brilliant save, Alan, but he actually sweeps.
Full time at Fairhill.
Thanks, Chick.
He actually sweeps it with his right arm.
Thistle 0, Dundee 0.
Thanks to Chick, yeah. Sounds like a poor game there. Yeah, Leanne?
I'm just saying the save was brilliant, but he saves it with his right arm and actually sweeps it back into the danger area and gives Dundee United a second bite at it.
Southampton have
full time at
equalised.
Oakview. Queen's Park 2, Inverness Cally Thistle 1, and the Spiders have gone from potentially dropping points to extending their lead at the top to 7 points.
Big win for Owen Coyle's side. Southampton looked to have rescued a point. They were 3-1 down at home to Spurs. James Ward-Prowse with a penalty there in the 93rd minute. Leeds United 4-2 up now away at Wolves. It's finished in Fairland 0, FC Edinburgh 0. The League One leaders held there at home by FC Edinburgh. Chick telling us in the Championship part of Thistle 0, Dundee 0. Kenny Crawford telling us the leaders Queen's Park coming from behind, beating Inverness Cally Thistle by 2-1. It finished Hamilton Accies 0, Ayr United 2. So Aberdeen, Willie Miller, just closing stages there?
Yeah, just closing stages. The game is over. It's been a better second half for Hearts, there's no doubt about that, but very little threat in front of goal. It's still 3-0 up here. We've got 5 minutes at time added on. We're probably into about 3 of them, so a couple of minutes to go. And very much like the Dons, well, definitely the Dons are going to take 3 points this afternoon.
League 2 leaders Dumbarton went down 5-1 at home to Albion Rovers this afternoon. Just looking, the closest pursuer, Stirling Albion, I think it was a 1-1 draw for them. Let's then get to Celtic Park. Anything at all from Hibs as an attacking force, Jim?
Well, Hibs have just actually had a brilliant piece of play under pressure. They've come down the right wing, balls played into the box. Really brave. Celtic were pressing them really high and they just kept playing and playing. They must have about 9 or 10 passes, get themselves down the right wing, got it in the middle, and you can still sense that obviously, you know, Celtic are still not feeling safe yet. 1 goal's not enough for them, but credit to Hibs. As I say, Lee Johnson will take a lot out of this performance. I know he's walking about the dugout looking unhappy, but deep down he'll be happy that he's came and they've put on a show.
What about Jim Goodwin? We'll hear from him post-match, Alan. What will he take from this game today? Will he see it as a missed opportunity?
I think so. After the way they played in the opening period, they had St Mirren pinned back for periods of the game, had the better chances, but you've got to give St Mirren credit. A really good side this year under Stephen Robinson. And you know, they didn't play as well as they could in that opening half. All credit to United for that opening period, but St Mirren in the second half been a different team. But United could have won it. The 2 chances in the last couple of minutes, and it's not finished yet. You know, they've had Fotheringham hit the post, and that effort there from Niskanen where he should have scored after Cujo got the save out the keeper. But United are piling forward now, so ball into the box cleared away. But it's been a decent game. I think a draw will probably be just about the right result here, Kenny, because a total game of 2 halves. St Mirren not in it in the first half. United dominated that period, but St Mirren came into it the second half. But United are finishing really strongly here.
It's such fine margins, Alan, isn't it?
Goal Celtic, and it's my man Haksabanovic. Glad he's proved me right. Good bit of play down the left hand side with David Turnbull. Plays it to Haksabanovic at the edge of the box. He's out, he double chop, comes onto his right foot and slews it in.
Yeah, I think we all knew it was coming from behind. They were a goal down after that penalty from Josh Campbell in the first half. Hibs were down to 10 men at that stage. Ellie Ewan sent off in 24 minutes, but 3 second half goals from Celtic. Jota with a penalty on 52 minutes, on 81, and deep into stoppage time there, the 3rd goal from Haksabanovic. Liam, we knew it was coming.
You remember games used to finish at 45.
It's incredible now.
Full time at Pittodrie, senior talking, Alan. It finishes Aberdeen 3, Hearts 0.
Good stuff, thanks, Willie. Yeah, Willie's enjoyed that game. He predicted a good one, ideal conditions, and Aberdeen lived up to that prediction. Very good, but disappointing from the away side there. Hearts going down by 3-0 at Pittodrie. A double from Duke, 5 in 21 minutes, and Matty Pollock on 28 minutes. All the goals there coming in the first half. So just waiting now on the game at Celtic Park. How would you assess?
Tannadice.
Sorry.
I think the refs just played. We got a winner here. We've played 11.
My goodness.
11 minutes.
The winner.
we used to have a 5 o'clock menu. We'd have a news and a 5 o'clock menu, and that's been binned. It's incredible the time that's been added on. It really has.
We had 8 minutes. We're now into the...
Biscuit should have been fined 2 weeks' wages been out Tannadice at this time.
100%. Jim had been off at half time. Get warmed up, you're coming off.
Yeah, so very much in the balance there at Tannadice. St Mirren fighting back. Mark O'Hara very good in the penalty spot. He equalised in 73 minutes. Stephen Fletcher giving United the early advantage there in 3 minutes. Alan telling us a couple of very good late chances for the home side there. Aberdeen cruised to victory over Hearts. Kilmarnock and Johnson shared the spoils. Livingston beat Ross County.
Grieve almost wins it for St Mirren. Is it Green? I think it is Green. It's a lovely little flick from Main. I don't know how much he means it, Main, but it falls into his path and his volley's just over the bar. And whatever that is, 102nd minute.
He catches it well, doesn't he?
Unbelievable.
Unlucky. A couple of big chances actually, Alan, in this to grab all 3 points for both
really
teams.
Good game, really good. And is it not finished yet? Header back. Oh, keeper gets off his line quickly. Still going. I think the rest forgot his watch.
Yeah, I mean, that Haksabanovic goal's come through in the 95th minute, and they're still going.
Full time at Tannadice. Dundee United 1, St Mirren 1.
Yeah, a good second half fight back from Stephen Robinson's side. Both sides, as Alan said, they had their chances to win it. St Mirren ahead
at Celtic Park.
Thanks, Jim. So Celtic coming behind there. St Mirren ahead in possession and goal attempts, but an even game there, as Alan said. A good game at Tannadice, and Celtic coming through in the end there. So I'll give you all the full-time score lines across the country this afternoon. So in the Premiership, the lunchtime kick-off, we kicked off early today in Sports Sound. It finished Motherwell 2, Rangers 4. In the 3 o'clock kickoffs, Celtic coming from behind, beating Hibs by 3-1. Ellie Ewan sent off for the wayside in 24. Josh Campbell put Hibs ahead in the penalty spot on 39. Jota with a penalty on 52. On 81 minutes. Haksabanovic in the 95th minute. Celtic 3, Hibs 1. Aberdeen cruised to victory against Hearts this afternoon. A double from Duke, 5 and 21 minutes. Matty Pollock on 28. Dundee United 1, St Mirren 1. Stephen Fletcher for the home side in 3 minutes. Mark O'Hara equalising from the penalty spot on 73. Come on at 1, St Johnstone 1. Joe Wright on 38 minutes for the home side. Dre Wright with equaliser for Saints on 70 minutes. Livingston 2, Ross County 1. Joel Newbley on 37. A minute later, a goal from the captain, Nicky Devlin. Ross County fought back into it in the second half. Simon Murray in 69, but it finished 2-1 to the home side there. Into the Championship, Hamilton Accies 0, Ayr United 2, Partick Thistle 0, Dundee 0, Queen's Park 2, Inverness Cally Thistle 1. The leaders coming from behind in that game. Wraith Rovers 6, Cove Rangers 1. In League 1, Airdrie 7, Peterhead 0, Alloa 3, Clyde 1. The leaders Dunfermline 0, SC Edinburgh 0, Kelty Hearts 1, Montrose 2, Queen of the South 1, Falkirk 0. In League 2, Bonnyrigg Rose 1, East Fife 1, Dumbarton leaders 1, Albion Rovers 5. Elgin against Stennismuir was postponed due to a waterlogged pitch. Forfar 2, Annan 1, Stranraer 1, Stirling Albion 1. And in the English Premier League, Aston Villa 3, Bournemouth 0, Brentford 1, Leicester City 1, Southampton 3, Spurs 3, Wolves 2, Leeds United 4. And in the tea time kick-off, 5:30 start, Chelsea against Everton. Welcome back to listeners who have been enjoying Radio Scotland, medium wave, and Open All Mics has been on here. It's been an incredible afternoon of drama. So many goals in the top flight, so many talking points. Again, VAR playing its part. We'll get all the reaction. We'll hear from the managers. Very, very interesting to hear what they've got to say. So that's all coming up for you on Sports Sound right after the BBC Radio Scotland news.
On digital radio.